Yeah, son. Man, kids out there getting crazy. Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. You know, yeah, on fire. Alright. And this is the year with Mad Caps. I'm strong to slide, keep it real. Bang 'em out. We the all this chaos in the realm of the with Jones part to soul for the scale pro. When I hit the street, I like to listen. Take time, stay listen. Yo, my CEO is the poly torpedo. Cash. Cop. Hey, that's the shit. Play this. Live the rich style. In the bitch. In 94, Giuliani. In 95. Stay alive, really happy while I'm at in the stats, phone and the app, Remy in the glass, off the phone, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up on my back, bust a cap on my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player, hey, I don't wanna see that. They rather see it spray. But I'm like this, the time they we the head off, the birds, the down like rounds to blow your head off. Hit up spots, eat up spots. Invest in the stocks like Colombian blood crops. I'm out to get you cream, and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this new shit, I'm getting down. You wanna be a play, right? So place the play. Play game, a million of roulette. When this is the 08, is I spray the melee. Contact and punctuation is forbidden to hit game. You put a J. You're a fuck, I fucking don't like time again. Fuck, decapitated. My drunk, I'm sick. The skunk bouncing with my jump. I'm keeping back with the clowns, we zigzagging. When we talk about the keys, come on, your nigga black and make it down as believe you see. I was packing heaters with you, packing cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same. In the rap game, I'm known for playing rookies and y'all done forgot what was from the start. Stupid bitches, why? Keep down my car. Want the ass domino. Colorful lyrics, singing the brain, particle, never sleep. I'm bringing the drunk to the streets. Techniques and rolling in the streets. Ain't nothing sweet about the streets, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook and lyrics shine like fish scale. I got the finger at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. Came death, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for
All right. Welcome to the podcast today, Gangsta Talk. Yeah, man, I'm on that Simp thing again. Where my cape at? Where my cape? Where my long black cape? Before I get started, shout out to everybody in the chat. My brother Hassan Burton, E Nation representing. As always, my co-host, partner in crime, Dane Frankie is here. And we're gonna have some fun today. But first, we're gonna fire off on a couple of folks. We're gonna launch an all-out war. I'm recommending that we go to war. Everybody, every able black man who cares about a black woman, it's time to go to war. Go to war against the manosphere. Go to war against the SYSBM. We go to war. Hold on 1 second here. We go to war with all these red pill guys. Go to war. Every chance we get, they need to be denounced. They should be attacked at every turn. They should know no peace because they've committed a brazen act of treason. They've turned on our women and they have attempted to poison the mind of our youth against the women too. Remember, Tupac. I said this before, I'll say it again, about a race of babies that hate the ladies. They have accomplished that. We have young, crazed boys with animalistic and savage mentalities attacking women because they feel that their lives have no value. Now, where did they get this idea from? Well, it comes from the manosphere. It comes from these weak Negroes in the manosphere who are constantly devaluing the lives of Black women. Constantly. So it's time to go to war. Every chance you get, denounce these animals. Every chance you get, attack on sight. Every chance you get, they should know no peace for the environment that they have created for our women and children. They've created an unbearable environment, an environment of nothing but hatred and corruption. And trust you me, that environment is creating animals and monsters on both sides, little boys and little girls. Now the little girls are starting to become corrupted because of the corruption in the environment. And all of this is due to failed Black leadership. This is where all of this comes from. Failed fatherhood. Terrible fathers. Horrible fathers. Black men have done an absolutely horrible job at fatherhood. I don't want to hear no freaking white statistics about Black men are the most who take care of their fathers. Really? Where you see that at? With all these crazy boys running crazy in the street. Where's that at? Well, our Black women being attacked by young boys. Where's all of this? Black men take care of their kids the most. Where's that at? I don't see that. Certainly not showing up in real life. Looks good on paper, sounds good, but where is it? Where are the fathers to keep these young boys in check? You know, I was watching something about a mother was killed by her son. And I heard something about, was he too old to be staying at home? First of all, if there's a father in that, you see, the father is the answer to everything, people. The father is the cause of everything. It's also the answer to everything. See, because with a father in the house, a good father, a strong father, there is no staying in a house too long. There is no living in a house too long. Because fathers don't have that. Fathers don't play that. Hell, we were out of the house at what, 18, 19 years old? Pops didn't play that shit. You were taught, so you need to get out there and implement what you was taught. And so now Black women are coming under fire because they say, well, the mother should have did this and the mother should have did that. And the mother should have did this and the mother should have did that and da 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 da. But what about what the father should have done? What about what the father shouldn't have done? Where is that? See, I don't want to hear now that things are out of control. We're trying to blame this on the Black mothers. First of all, the mothers shouldn't be single in the first place. Or at the very least, shouldn't be doing everything by themselves. See, parenting is a team sport. It's not an individual sport, it's a team sport. Because it takes two to make that one child. So parenting is a team sport. But now you have the Black woman playing parenting as an individual thing. And she's losing. Because she's starting to become overwhelmed. And I understand that. Can't keep doing everything by herself. Eventually, she's going to get worn out. She can't be everywhere at once. She can't be a super provider and a super this and a super that all of the time. It's not going to work. She's going to falter somewhere because she has no help. And she's supposed to have help. See, we don't want to put the blame where the blame belongs. Let's put the blame on where's her help? Where's the father? Where's the father's significant contribution to the child's life so that the mother isn't overwhelmed? People talked about the mothers and that stabbing of those little girls, right? But where was the mothers? And didn't the mothers know? First of all, the mothers can't be everywhere. You have to understand something. Women aren't built like men. We're different. They handle adversity and pressure much different than we do. They get overwhelmed, they get tired. It's hard to raise kids by yourself. They develop their own little personalities. They become rebellious. You got to work. You got to maintain a roof over your head. Then you got to be after them, especially if you have more than one. Now you got to deal with all of these personalities. They're driving you crazy. And you got to provide all of this too. Then the kids are sassing you and you got to straighten that out. It wears you out. And there's no father in the home to provide peace. So the mother sometimes doesn't have a moment of peace, doesn't have a moment of rest. And so when this comes about, eventually she'll falter. She's going to have a misstep, a miscue. She's going to make a mistake because she just simply cannot hold up all the time under constant duress and pressure of parenthood. Something she shouldn't be doing by herself to begin with. Oh, again, parenting is a team sport. How do we know? Because it takes two to make a child. A woman and a man, a mother and a father. So on that alone tells you that she shouldn't be doing everything by herself. Now we have situations where the father died and the mother has to do the best she can. And we have situations where the father has done something stupid and got himself put in jail for the rest of his life. I said before, if you're doing something purposely to go to jail for the rest of your life, then you never loved your children. Because the father is going to make sure he's there for his children. Not make sure that he isn't there for his children. But some of you cop out talking about, well, the white man ain't left me nothing but the drug game. And so now I go out here, I sling drugs, and I get caught and I'm in jail for the rest of my life, but I love my kid. No, you don't. Negro, if you love your kid, you'll be getting a job at McDonald's. You'll be getting your GED. You'll be getting a job as a janitor. You'll be getting a job as a forklift operator, a hollow operator, something that where you can bring income in to help take care of your children. You won't be going to jail. You niggas go to jail because you don't care. All you care about is yourself. You don't care nothing about your child. Many of you go to jail to escape responsibility. As sad as that may sound, it's absolutely true. Some of you make sure you go to jail for a very long time, hoping that they will forget that you're the father of the child. Hey, you know what? Maybe if I go get 15, by the time I do 8 or 9, they'll forget that the child is mine. No, don't work that way, Negro. Don't work that way. That doesn't work out well anyway. But again, we have this situation where I'm hearing, well, where are the mothers? Well, the mothers are where they've always been. I don't understand why all of a sudden you don't know where the mothers are. They are where they've always been, in the house with the kids. What do you mean, where are the mothers? I don't understand. It's not hard to find black mothers. All you got to do is look in any home in the community. You'll see a black mother. Most of the time, a single black mother. So what are you talking about? Where are all the mothers? They are where they have always been. In the home. See, people who are saying, where are the mothers? These are the ones who don't want to put blame where blame belongs. The question should really be, where are the fathers? I guess that's an easy one to answer, right? Where are the fathers? Well, they are where most of them have always been, not in a home. That's where they are. I didn't say all fathers, I said most. Now, what kills me is they'll throw the statistics up in you, right? Talking about, well, fathers, statistics say black men are the most this and the most that. But they say that just to have a talking point, just to shut you up. But you see, we all know what's going on. The hell with those statistics. We see what's going on in real time, in the real world, in our communities. In our communities, we see a lot of single black mamas. And what kills me is you create all of these single mothers, and now you have the nerve to create a faction to say that their lives have no value, as to try to cover up your mistake because you don't want to accept responsibility for the children that you created. Don't want to be financially responsible. So you go and you create these phony ass factions called the manosphere just so you can hide your responsibility. Just so you can shrug off your responsibility. That's all these factions exist for, as to try to absolve the black man of his responsibility. And you got the nerve to talk about single baby mamas like you aren't creating. Seriously, y'all sit up here, y'all talk about single baby mamas like they're the black plague. You created that plague. Why aren't we talking about you creating that black plague? How do you think single baby mamas are created? They don't get like that on their own. Before I go any further, let me get a sound check. I forgot to do my sound check. Type in a 1 if you can hear me from coming in hot.
Whoa, Max, you should see what's going on in the chat. They talking about other stories, and where Morris Anthony lived, a boy killed his entire parents, because his father chastised him for leaving the house.
Yeah, that's the Indian boy, isn't it? That boy was Indian. Can they hear me in the chat?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Because I can't see the chat.
Yeah, Vet can hear you.
All right, so let me get back to what I... Huh?
One of the people, 6 people, one of them was pregnant. Yikes. No, he's black. Morris Anthony said he's black. It's in Indianapolis.
All right, let me get through my rant and then we can talk about that.
Okay.
Unless y'all want me to stop my rant. Would y'all like for me to stop my rant and we can talk about this stuff? Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to stop my rant. We can talk about what you guys are talking about.
They still voting on that they can hear you.
All right. Give me a 1, y'all, if y'all want me to stop my rant and immediately switch to the stories you guys are talking about in the chat.
The sign says to continue with your rant.
All right. So, yeah, like I was saying, right? And so You guys want to talk about single baby mamas like you're not creating them. They don't get made by themselves. And so you see, my whole problem with this is that you create a problem. It's just like racism. You see, you manosphere dudes, you took a page out of racism, out of the book of racism. Basically, what you did was you created a problem and you put that problem in a specific area to affect a specific person that you knew that you now can take action against because of them being affected by what you put in the neighborhood. Like, for example, drugs. They flooded our neighborhood with drugs, knowing that they would sell drugs or whatever. This will allow them to lock black men up. So you flooded our neighborhoods and communities with single black mothers. And now you are attempting to discipline or chastise them or lock them up by bad mouthing them, disparaging them, shunning them, basically trying to turn them into a poison pill. And this is a monster of your own creation. If the single black mother is a monster, she is of your own creation. And so you need to be reprimanded for such a creation. Since you don't want to take responsibility, then you need to be dealt with because you dealt the black community a serious blow. We have all these kids running around here with no fathers that the mothers can't keep up with. That's putting a lot of stress on these women. And because they're faltering under the stress, you're blaming them for it. You set these traps for them. You created this kind of environment for them. And now you're blaming them for what happens. It's kind of like being at the top of a mountain, right? And there's a boulder at the top of the mountain that's been sitting there for decades. And there's houses down the mountain. And someone comes and they push the boulder, and that boulder hits every house on the way down. Who do you blame for all that destruction? The boulder or the person that pushed the boulder? See, this is what you manosphere dudes have done. You've come and you pushed the boulder down the mountain, and it has tore up every house on its way down. And you blame the homeowners whose houses were torn up for the boulder hitting their house. This is what you're doing to baby mamas. You have created a problem, and now you're blaming her because the problem has proven too much for her to handle on her own. Something she shouldn't be doing in the first place. You created an impossible situation that you alone must address and that you alone must deal with. I don't want to hear nothing about you need black women. No. Because when the black woman was dealing with this by herself, all you did was call her out her name, said she was a bad parent, and try to make it hard for her. So now it's your turn. It's your turn to deal with this by yourself. And put yourself in her shoes and see how you like everything coming down on your head. See how it feels to try to be the father of multiple children and work and try to get rest and try to maintain your sanity, dealing with all kinds of problems. See how you like it. See how you like doing everything 99% of the time. Everything. Your turn. And then and then the black woman can get to sit back and talk about you and how you ain't shit and how you a bad parent and how it's your fault that the kids are effed up. Well, actually, it is your fault that the kids are effed up. We don't have to create some make believe scenario for that. That's actually the truth. But then she can sit back and watch your weak ass parenting skills, or watch your strong parenting skills, whichever one you decide to put on display, so that she can sit back and have a conversation with other black women about how you are doing as a parent with everything on your plate. Then you'll see how she feels. And no complaining. All you've done is set the black woman up, and you've made things hard for her, and you continue to make things hard for her because you are a pathetic human being who doesn't want to accept responsibility. You become a blight on black society. You are the type of black men black society can do without. You are a blight on our people, on our women and children. It's about time a new crop of men take your place. Men who understand what it takes to be providers. Men who understand what it takes and how important it is to be fathers. And how important it is for a father to be in a child's life. It's time for these men to rise up, and you are out there. You are out there. It's time for y'all to step to the front and replace these poor excuses for human beings. It's time to get that cape on, people. It's like I told you before, other men, cape for their women and children. They throw on them capes, they get the flying to protect their women and their children. They are the heroes of their women and children. It's time we do the same, brothers. Get them capes out. It's time to take to the air, start swooping down. Protect our women and children. Start providing for our women and children. It's time to start being heroes for our women and children. Y'all know me. I'm on my Simp thing. I wear the cape proudly. I'm thinking about putting the BK symbol on that motherfucker. Black Knight to the rescue. You understand what I'm saying? Time we start to be heroes for our women and children. Like I said before, the black woman has had her fair share of villains. It's time we be the heroes, my brothers. Somebody for your women and children to look up to. Not look away from in disgust. Because you're weak and you're pathetic. And you're afraid and you're a sissy. It's time to look at you with honor and admiration because you are strong. And you are fearless. And you are mentally and emotionally tough. And you will lay down anything that threatens your children. That is what it's time to come. I'm already there. I've been that. It's time for a lot of you brothers to do the same. Get them capes out. Wear your cape proudly. If people say you caping for women, say and children. Say, don't forget the children. I'm caping for the children too. You know what I mean? And with that being said, let me bring in my partner in crime, Miss Dame Frankie. Dame,
Hi. Whew. All right.
where's your cape? Where's your cape or your extended dress?
I'm getting my cape out of the cleaners. Hassan is ready.
Mm-hmm.
He said,
Mm-hmm.
phone boot, black cave with the black mobile. We're ready.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's protect our women and children. The hell with these punk ass niggas. Yeah, y'all, I'm on that simp thing again. You know when you love your women and your children, you want to provide. They call you a simp. They say you're caping. Well, I've embraced that. If I'm a simp for loving black women and wanting to protect them and the children, then so fucking be it. Go ahead, Dane.
Okay. Yeah. So Auntie was asking me because I've been stating that we've been infested with the white people's violence and mentality, and
Mm-hmm.
she was asking if that's what the scripture Ephesians, if let's see, Ephesians. Okay, I scrolled past her. It's Ephesians 5:7-21. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, let me refresh my memory with that. So I went back to double check it, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it means. Um, that we shouldn't participate. So do not participate or even associate with them in the rebelliousness of sin. But once you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. Live as those who are native born to the light. For the fruits, the effects, the results of the light consist in all goodness and righteousness and truth. Try to learn by experience what is pleasing to the Lord, and let your lifestyle be examples of what is most acceptable to Him. Your behavior expressing gratitude to God for your salvation. Do not participate in worthless and unproductive deeds of darkness, but instead expose them by exemplaring personal integrity, moral courage, and godly character. But it is disgraceful even to mention the things that such people practice in secret. But all things become visible when they are exposed by the light of God's precepts. For it is light that makes everything visible. For this reason, he says, awake, sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine as dawn upon you and give you light. Therefore, see that you walk carefully, living life with honor, purpose, and courage, shunning those who tolerate and enable evil, not as the unwise, but as wise, sensible, intelligent, discerning people, making the very most of your time on earth, recognizing and taking advantage of every opportunity and use it with wisdom and diligence because the days are filled with evil. Therefore, do not be foolish and thoughtless, but understand and firmly grasp what the will of the Lord is. Do not get drunk with wine, for that is wickedness, corruption, stupidity, but be filled with the Holy Spirit and constantly guided by hymns. Speak to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, offering praise by singing and making melody with your heart to the Lord. Always giving thanks to God the Father for all things in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, being subject to one another out of reverence for Christ. All right, hey Belmore, attacking what? What's this Belmore? White supremacist attack plan for Black History Month. Keep your wits about you. Okay. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, Auntie. 5 and 7, not all of 20. Well, in fact, I think it kind of a lot of it applies to it, and we
I'm
need
sorry, I
to.
back up fell off.
Uh huh.
So then, what do you think about the part where it's that they're complaining about single baby mothers, right? But
Mhm.
they created this problem,
Uh huh.
and now they're trying to blame single baby mamas for the problem that they created. They themselves created. Black
Mhm.
women didn't create this problem. Black men did.
Mhm.
So now those very black men who created this problem are trying to act as if it's the mother's fault. They're trying to hide their own involvement in creating this problem because these kids are out of control. And it's gotten to the point to now even the mother is being overwhelmed and now she's starting to be attacked. The
Mhm.
children are attacking their own mothers.
Yeah.
There's no discipline in these children at all. None. No respect. That comes from the father. The respect that I have for black women, people think it came from my mother. It did not. My father instilled that in me. That came, the respect I have for black women and the love I have for black women came from my father.
Mhm.
The respect I have for authority came from my father. All the disciplinary issues and situations my father dealt with, not my mother. Father's supposed to come in and deal with these things and set these things straight in the mind of a child. These children don't have that. There are no fathers to speak of. And now they've gone completely off the rails. And
Mhm.
so instead of being brave and stepping back in and dealing with these children, they want to take the coward way out and blame black mothers as if it was the black woman's fault the whole time.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. They, as I said, they just using as a scapegoat. They trying to put the spotlight on the black woman so it won't be or the black mothers so it won't be the attention won't be on the black man and the black father. Yeah, because they always quick to holler out where is the mother instead of where's the parents, where's the father and the mother. It's where's the mother, where's the mother.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
we know where the mothers are.
Mm-hmm.
They are where they've always been,
Mm-hmm.
in the homes. I don't know why they keep asking where the mothers are like they don't know where they're at. The mothers haven't gone nowhere. They are where they've always been. Oh, I forgot. You haven't been in the home, so you probably wouldn't know. Because most of the people who are asking this are black men.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably don't know where the mothers are because they're not in the homes. If they were in
Yeah.
the homes, they would know where the mothers are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The mothers haven't gone anywhere. They are where they've always been. In the
Mm-hmm.
homes, taking care of problems that you left behind. And I say problems, you know why? Because a lot of these kids are undisciplined. That is a problem. You've left her with a problem. Something
Mm-hmm.
you should have dealt with. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, yeah. Other race, when things go wrong, they ask where are the parents. They don't ask where the mother is, where the father. They said parents. That means there's supposed to be two of them, the both of
Right.
y'all.
Well,
But
you know, I just
no.
spoke. I just spoke about that, right? I said
Mm-hmm.
parenting is a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an individual sport. The black mother is playing this game by herself. Her counterpart isn't there. She can't tag the hand of her husband so he can jump in and handle some things. There's no one there. There's no hand there for her to tag.
Yep. Hmm. So she got to deal with it all.
And what
Hmm.
happens when she deals with it all the time? Eventually, she becomes weary.
Hmm.
At some point, she's going to falter. She's going to make a mistake. She's going to slip and fall. Can't keep doing everything all by herself. It's not. I listen. I'm people. I don't know how to get this through to people. The black mother isn't supposed to be parenting by herself. Parenting is a hard job enough for two parents.
Yeah.
It's even doubly tough for one parent. I've seen two parents that can barely get a handle on their kids. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading Auntie. She's like, I never thought we lived to see the day where parents would be too horrified to discipline their children.
Yeah, because, and you know what that is? That is the coward's, that is a coward's fear. And that comes from the poor leadership. That comes from the poor leadership. My parents wasn't afraid of their children. We were afraid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, here's another part I got a big problem with, right? Following white people with this friend shit. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm my child's friend. What? Your child doesn't need a friend. Your child needs a parent.
Mm-hmm.
See, back in the old school days, parents were quick to tell you straight, I'm not your friend. When they
Uh-uh.
was whooping your ass, they made sure that they was very clear who they were when they was whooping your ass.
Mm-hmm.
While mommy and daddy whooping your ass, they made it very clear, I'm not your friend. These children don't need friends, they need parents. See, that's that European shit. You got Negroes trying to be like Europeans. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. And they let the oh, they're gonna take my child away from me. I can't do no. Those laws was there when I was there. That didn't stop my mom. My mom still with my behind. She made it clear, okay, you go ahead and call them. They're gonna take you away from me. But in the meantime, I'm gonna give them a good reason to take them away from me. And she whipped my behind. I saw where parents were in a situation where they were in the pink
Yeah, we're
people
not gonna.
neighborhood,
Yeah, but you see, my
and
thing is
mhm,
hello.
yeah,
I remember when the police used to be rebellious against the rule too.
mhm,
If you whooped your kid and the police, they look the other way because they whooping their kids' ass too. I remember one time I told the police officer I wanted to report child abuse. He said, "For what?" I said, "Because I got a butt whooping." They laughed.
yeah,
They said, "Ain't nothing we can do about that, son. You got a butt whooping, you deserved it."
mhm. What did you do to get a butt whipping? And whatever you did, stop
Yeah.
doing, and you wouldn't get a butt whipping. Yeah, but the first time I seen it was when uh, because of a situation with their house and at the temporary exit, they went to stay with the father's mother, and she lived in a white neighborhood. And every time they would whip their child, the white people called child protective service, so they got a little fearful, and the kids, of course, took advantage of that, pushed it to the limit. And when I
Mm.
came to babysit them, they thought they could pry with me. I said, what you think they're gonna do? Take you away from me? I would love that. You just encouraging me to be put around anyhow. Go ahead,
Mhm.
holler. I don't care. What they're gonna do is take you away from me. And I said, I want y'all to think about that when you threaten to call on your parents. Uh, all Child Protective Service gonna do is take you away from your family and put you with some stranger who care nothing about you or taking care of you or making sure you eat or anything else. You
Right.
know.
That's right. We don't want to get too far. Let's get back to
Mhm.
the black women here being blamed for being terrible parents. Now, when you look at the situation of the
Mhm.
15-year-old girl,
Uh-huh.
and you know what? The 13-year-old girl who killed her, she may get off.
What?
Yeah, because there's an element of self-defense there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she can easily say that she grabbed the knife to protect herself because the 15-year-old girl lunged at her. And it's
Mm,
sad. It's sad, but they're going to take a look at that.
okay, I might be a little off on the tape, but once the girl ran away from her, the knife should have went down.
Did she? Well, I didn't see that part. Did she chase? Did she chase after her
Yeah.
with the knife?
Uh,
Okay. Did the girl who chased after her with the? Did she chase after her and stabbed her?
I believe so. I'm gonna have to
Oh
look at
well,
the
then if
tape.
that's the case, then see, I didn't see that part. Now, if that's the case, then yeah, she's going down.
Mhm.
See, people, self-defense doesn't mean you chase someone.
Mhm.
You can't chase someone, okay? Because if they're running away from you, then the threat is nullified. You can't then turn around and run after them just because you've acquired a weapon. If you acquired a weapon, in order for you to use that weapon, the threat must still be imminent. If they're running away from you, you can't just, excuse me, take off after them and shoot them or stab them and talk about some self-defense. That's not self-defense. That's called murder. Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and now that we have to now Hassan Burton and others and brothers, a collective of brothers. Now we have a small collective of brothers in here. We're going to continue until we grow a large contingent of brothers in here who love black women and who are ready to defend black women and children. It is time to go to war. You should be upset because they've created this impossible environment for our women and children. They have stabbed us in the heart.
Mhm.
They've ruined the environment for our women and children. The environment is corrupted due to their hatred. And look at what it's producing. Mindless, disrespectful kids who have no regard for life. When you look at the tape of the little girls that was in, and I will say little girls, that
Mhm.
was in Walmart. I'm not going to say little savages. These were little girls. If you notice the way they were talking, they were nonchalant. They had no regard for life. They were saying, bitch gonna die here in Walmart, bitch gonna die here in Walmart. They had absolutely no understanding of life whatsoever. Okay, that comes out of the home. See, at a young age, we was taught about life at a young age. Our mothers and fathers taught us not to bully people, do not take advantage of people who have less than us. You don't bother people, okay? Care about people. You don't start any fights unless someone starts a fight with you. You don't try to hurt no one. See, our parents taught us all of these things at a young age. So we grew up with an understanding that life was valuable. And so we would never walk around talking about, oh, bitch gonna die today or this nigga gonna die today. We didn't talk like that
Mhm.
because we had an understanding that was taught to us about life. These kids do not have that. They don't care anything about life, not even their own. And like I said, these teachings are nowhere to be found And we cannot blame the mother for this because there's no father around. You're never going to win this battle because it started with the fathers. And now that it's gotten out of control and it's ugly, we don't get to change. We don't get to change the blame. The blame is still with the fathers, as it has always been. Go ahead, Dan.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So even though the rest of the world assumed that there were parents plural and not single mother, still there was no parent. There was no father. You could come and arrest my daughter, or my daughter died. You don't hear about the fathers like they don't exist. Nobody even asks. I think maybe one person mentioned it in a comment. Um, was like, forget where the mother's at. Where's the father?
Exactly. We're the
What kind of
fathers.
environment are these girls living in that they can be this cold and callous?
Right. They live in an environment that don't have the discipline. They don't have the strong male in the home. They don't have it. You see, the fathers influence the girls too, because even when the father's in the house, right? My sisters couldn't talk a certain way. If it got to my father's ear, he immediately stepped to my mother, hey, why are my daughters talking like this? And then the mother did something about it. We don't have it. Like I said, this is a team sport.
Mhm.
There are valuable things that the father brings to the table that the mother cannot bring, and vice versa. Each parent brings something to the table that the other cannot bring.
Yeah,
Okay?
and
This not having a father thing, look
mhm.
at what has happened to our society. It is topsy turvy. It is upside down. It is on its head because of the absence of fathers, absence of leadership. This is a leadership and the parenting issue because this stuff starts in the home. We didn't come out of the house crazy, off our rocker, not giving a damn about life, cold blooded. We didn't come out of the house like that. We came out of the house as civil human beings because we were taught to be civil in the home. It starts with the father, the mother, the father.
Mhm.
And they tag team teaching the children. This starts in the home. You don't come out of the house as a savage.
Mhm.
You come out of the house as a civil, level headed, thinking human being with some understanding about life. These kids are coming out of the house like wild animals because there is no more discipline in the home. And the mother just simply nowadays, the mother is overwhelmed. And in some cases, so overwhelmed that she's afraid of her own children. Some of these kids are big.
Yeah.
They dwarf the mother. These kids are big and powerful. A lot of times the mother can't do anything with the child once they get in their teenage years because the child is big. Her girls are bigger. Her boys are bigger and stronger.
Yeah. And look at if y'all remember the footage from the 12, 13, 14 year olds, they were the same size as the 15-year-old. They
Yeah,
look older. You wouldn't think that they were, if they didn't say 12, 13, 14, 15, you wouldn't have thought it. Because they
man.
all look the same size, the same
Man,
build.
Some of these girls now look like little ladies,
Mm-hmm.
fully grown. I mean, I've seen them at 5'8", 5'9", 13, 14 years old. Nearly fully developed.
Mm-hmm.
Already the size of a grown woman. And some of these girls with no father challenge their mother.
Mm-hmm.
And God forbid she got 3 or 4 girls, they big like that. I think I had a situation, they didn't I have a video, we did a show where the 2 girls murdered their mother. Didn't I have
Mm.
that?
Oh
And they
yeah,
were,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and they were teenage girls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, these kids are big now, which is even more important for a father to be in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the mother can't back these children off, but a father can.
Yeah. And sometimes the father can nip
You
that
know,
in
is the
the
symbol because the father in the home. It's important for the father to be in the home because the father is a symbol of strength, power, and discipline,
and
and
authority.
fear, and authority. The mother is a symbol of love, understanding, sweetness, kindness, and there's some discipline there. But they don't respect that. But they fear the father because usually the father is big in stature, powerful, heavy voice, strong, don't take any shit, and shows absolutely no fear of them. The mother is different. You cannot ask the mother to be like a man. A lot of them run the mother over. So the single black mother is up against it. It's hard for her. Like I said, she's being overwhelmed. And she just simply cannot do everything by herself all of the time. Eventually, she will break down, she will falter, she will make a mistake. Go ahead, Dane.
Yeah. Uh yes. And she was like, these days a father might not be able to do it neither. Uh I think if the father been there from the beginning and he been showing his authority, no, he can nip some of it, but sometimes it's the way he questioned.
Well,
Like,
no, 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 no. I agree. No, 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 no. I
you
agree.
agree
I
with
think I
him?
know where she's going with this. Yeah, I agree with it. You
Okay.
know why? Because these dudes are so weak. They don't exude any power, any fear. You know, they don't look like anybody somebody should respect. The kids might think they punks. Run them over too.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with Auntie. This version of a black man, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't think he can do it either.
Mm-hmm.
This version of the black man today is too much of a sissy and a coward.
Mm-hmm.
You can't discipline boys by saying, look, Todd, you need to stop yelling at your mother or I'm going to put you in timeout. Now, the mother might be able to get away with saying some shit like that, but imagine a father. Todd doing some wild shit, and father supposed to step to him, father, Todd, stop doing this or I'm going to put you in timeout. He ain't going to respect that. He's going to think his father's a punk. Boys respect strength. And a real man knows this. That's why when the boy challenges father, the father puts the boy on his rear end.
Yeah, put him in knockout, not timeout.
That's right. He puts him down. He sends them flying on his rear end because he understands what's at stake. You don't sit there and be like, oh, stop challenging me. Or I'm going to put you in timeout. I'm not going to get you that bike that you wanted.
No, no,
Boys respect strength. Boys need to be dealt with strength. I told you when I challenged my father, he caved my chest in.
mm-hmm.
When I was on the floor trying to catch my breath, he asked me, was this conversation over? Or did he want to have or did we want to do a little bit more talking? So when this happens to the mother, a lot of times, if any, she can't hold back these strong boys. And then they're crazy too. They don't have any sense of respect. What's she supposed to do? Can't ask her to do a man's job.
Sure.
And she's trying her best, but even now the black woman is losing grip on the family because the kids are becoming too corrupt. And they are corrupt because of the hatred that has been flooded into our black communities by these cowardly black men. And they continue to spew hatred. And they continue to allow this corruption to corrupt these boys and turn these boys against the mother. Now they're starting to attack their own mother because of their hatred that's being flooded into our communities by these cowardly black men. That's where this is coming from, people. This isn't coming from white folks. This has been created by cowardly black men. This kind of environment that is corrupting both girls and boys. And now the black woman is in absolute danger from her children that she spent her life raising, children that she would gladly give her life up for, are now being corrupted by this hatred and are turning against her and attacking her. And in some cases, taking her life. That is what this hatred from these men has created. Go ahead, Dane.
Yeah, Yvette is going. My dad check kids when he see their mothers pulling their hair out. He says, "What did your mother say?" The kid is quiet and listen. Just the sound of a masculine male voice shuts everything down. That's true. That's true. I seen one woman. She couldn't get to the school. She, um, and the father ain't in the picture. So her dad went on his lunch break. Went and said, "Go get him out of school." No, Grandpa said, "No, you gonna stay at school. You gonna behave. You listen. If I have to come in here over here again about you misbehaving, shut his grandson down. He was good for the rest of the day."
And you know what? And the thing about it is, back in the day, it's like, if your mother told you to do something, you gave her some back talk. She said them to your father, and what did your father tell you? Boy, do what your mother said do. What did your mother say? What did your mother just say? And don't let your father overhear you talking back to your mother. He lights your ass up. Like, but what did your mother tell you to do? That's missing from the home. And people understand these simple things that you're hearing from us are powerful. They are powerful, and trust me, without them, these kids are going crazy. There is no guidance in a home anymore from a male figure. That masculine voice, that heavy voice, that thundering voice of authority is no longer in the home. I tell you, we can be cutting up, running up the walls, driving our mother crazy. But soon as we heard that Cadillac pull up, we stopped breathing. We stopped moving. All of a sudden, the house fell silent. Why? Because daddy was home. And we knew what that meant. Go ahead, Dan.
James Evan Good Time is missing from the home. The masculine voice and stuff like that is missing. The that tone that breaks no argument. In fact, it shuts your excuses down. But what? And shut that down. Even the question, even if it ain't that authority, just the question. Okay, where are you going? You're going to Walmart. What you need to go to Walmart for? You know, okay, I'm gonna take you to Walmart. I'm gonna go get you whatever you gotta get and then come out. Your friends better say hi to you on your way to get your stuff and meet them going to the register. You got 5 minutes. I'm coming in. If you don't come in themselves, okay, go get what you gotta get. Yes, how your friends, how your friends. Let's go. Yeah. Or the question, oh, so you going to Walmart, you going to the movies, and where else you gonna be? You know, just the fact that he's questioning, know that you better be on your P's and Q's. You know, so there be no, not getting caught up in y'all fight, stuff like that. No, my dad's gonna kill me. You know, that's between you and her. Yeah. And don't let you look like you're gonna pull you away. Sound just said something. That's my dad's voice. Even as a teenager, the voice gave me no play because of him. Yeah, we had a deacon like that type of voice. Yeah. So whenever they said the voice coming, I would always imagine him. But yeah, and as for the boys, some of them outgrow and are stronger than their mothers by the time they're 13 or 15. The mother whipping them with the belt don't hurt anymore. In fact, if they get old enough, they'll snatch the belt right out of their mother's hand. Now,
So,
the well-behaved ones will,
so when you get to a situation like that,
mm-hmm.
What is that the direct result of, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mother done got to the point where she can no longer affect the boy by whooping him.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it's problematic if a boy is at that age and the mother's still whooping him. That means that there ain't no father around.
Mm-hmm.
My mother didn't whoop us until we were 17 and 18. She stopped doing that when we was like 6 or 7 years old because of the father. Well, not 6 or 7 years old. I got around 12 years old. But anyway, that's something else. But if your mother's still whooping you at the age of 15 and 16, ain't no father around. Ain't no father around. Because at the age of 15, 16, your mother shouldn't be whooping you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? At that age, you should have a certain mentality already. Your father should have put a certain mentality in you by now. So you understand something. Discipline comes from the father, especially mental discipline. Mental toughness, emotional discipline, that comes from the father. And that's supposed to be in you. You're supposed to be able to control yourself. You're supposed to be able to have self-control. That's something your father should have taught you. If you don't have that and your mother's still going upside your head at the age of 15, ain't no father around.
Mhm.
At the age of 15, you should be an asset at that point to your house. You should to your mother. You should be helping. You should be working after school with your working papers, starting to get your little life together. Start saving up your money. We were working. What? I think we got our working papers at 14 or 15. We were working
Mhm.
after school. We were already preparing to be on our own at the age of 18. We was already preparing to saving up money. By the time I was 18, I had what, $11,000 that I had saved up from working.
Mm.
So you supposed to already have something going on. And I wasn't just working; I was making money on the side too. I had lemonade stands. I had, I was selling different items because my father taught me how to make money. He taught his sons how to make money. So we wasn't just working; we was making money on the side too. I was making money by fixing bikes. I was charging people to fix their bikes. I was making money by building bikes. We were very productive when I was young. We actually knew how to do things, how to build things, fix things. These kids don't know how to do nothing.
Mm-mm.
Nothing. They can't rub two sticks together.
Very few of them.
They do nothing.
And those that do know a little something, they got it from their grandfathers, not their fathers.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Just,
13-year-old barbecuing. He learned it from his grandfather. He didn't learn it from his father.
I remember one time I learned how to hang doors from my father. I remember one time one of the doors was broken in the house. My mother, told my father, she said, George, the door's broken over there. He told me, he said, hey, go take care of that. And I went and fixed the door off of what my father taught me. I mean, so these things are instilled by your pops. Your pops give you that work ethic, teach you how to build things. These kids don't know how to do anything, and it's making the mother's job nearly impossible. I mean, we used to be able to say the black woman is holding it down. She can't hold it down anymore. Things have gotten way out of control, and she's starting to drown. It's just too much. Eventually, things are going to become completely out of control, and it's going to take something tragic and drastic, or drastic and tragic, to stop it. All because of failed leadership by the black men, failed fatherhood by the black men. This is their doing. This is their fault. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the fathers teaching their son to do stuff. I didn't really see that until the quarantine when the men were home from work. And I start seeing men around in the neighborhood working on their houses and their cars. That's when I saw the men teaching the boys these things, how to fix a fence, how to do repairs on the house, how to fix the doors, hang the doors, how to do minor repairs and stuff like that. You know. And then there's a whole bunch of boys, they have no fathers. A lot of stuff they learn it from their mothers, or they learned it from their grandfathers. You know, they it's not coming from their fathers. And then it's the very basic compared to the stuff their fathers and their grandfathers learned or knew how to do. you know, and and some stuff the mothers are keeping away from because their babies and stuff like that. I met one. He didn't know how to light a stove. You know how sometimes old gas stoves you gotta relight the pilot, or you gotta go in the oven and light the pilot, or you gotta manually light the. He was a little bit afraid of it. His mom wouldn't let him do it. I was like, you're gonna have to get over that. No, 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 no. You know how to cook your egg, you have to learn to light that stove. Because there gonna be times when they're gonna need you to light that stuff. The mom is getting older, your grandma's getting older, your sister's way of college. You gotta do it. And I had to show him how to light the stove. Luckily, we didn't have to light the powder, but I showed them where to look. See, that's where the powder is. If you don't see that light, you gotta light that. So you can use the distant match, or the fire starter with the long stem, and relight that. And I felt weird. I said, "Didn't your grandfather teach you that?" He said he did, but he hardly had to put it in practice because his mom wouldn't let him. His grandfather had died. So what he was learning, he was starting to forget. I said, you have to step it up. You're getting older. You're becoming a man. So so when he was supposed to go spend the summer with his uncle. His uncle was going to take him in hand and teach him the rest of that stuff. He's like, you're getting older. You gotta know how to do these things. Your mom can't do all this stuff. You don't know because the men's supposed to handle that. Yeah, like he got his lesson on changing the tire. He got a re-lesson on changing the tires in the car. Let's see. What's this? Oh yeah. Mika. Yeah. The 15-year-old was unarmed. It was the 12, 13-year-olds, and the 14-year-old that had knives. Let's see. Hassan Burton. Oh yeah, he said he mowed the grass, shoveled the snow, pumped gas at the gas station, worked at the American Steakhouse as a dishwasher at 12.
Yes.
At
Yes.
12.
Yes, we did, y'all. I'm telling you. Hassan know what I'm talking about. We worked.
I thought
Our parents.
I thought y'all couldn't start till 14, 15.
Dang.
Oh.
We worked.
Mm-hmm.
We was taught at an early age the value of working and learning, and we was taught how to make money. We was taught how to do things, build things. Our parents taught us skills that we could survive off of. Carpentry. My father taught me carpentry. I'm not a carpenter, but I can do some things in carpentry the way I can make money. I can hang doors. I can fit windows. I can make money off of that right now. And that's something that my father, I can build tables. I can build chairs from scratch. I don't need no blueprint. I don't need any how-to manual.
Mm-hmm.
I can build a chair without looking at anything. I can build a table. Father taught me all these things. So I can put up sheetrock.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I forgot about all that.
Yeah. You see, the pops taught you all these things because the pops back then, the pops was a working man and a building man. He was always on the weekend fixing a car, or building something in the backyard, or working on something with his friend. The men were always in the community building or fixing something or something like that. They were always doing something like that. So we had a lot to learn.
Mm-hmm.
We was always learning. It was always, come here, boy, let me teach you something.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you turn around, come here, boy, pay attention, let me teach you something. You don't have that now. And, when you look at these crop of men, even these rap guys or whatever, and these guys ain't no fathers, man. They don't know what to tell. I listen to some of these so-called rap artists, talk about their kids. It's no wonder their kids are crazy. They don't know nothing about being a parent themselves. I mean, and they say things because they sound good. They don't say it because that's who they are and that's what they do. They just say stuff because they're in the public eye and they want it to sound good. But they ain't really on it like that. Because the proof is in the pudding. Okay? Look at the kids. Kids are screwed up. Oh, man. Hell.
Uh-huh.
Man. Went around a pretty bad curve here.
Well, Savannah, yeah, I know there ain't no excuse for young man to say he don't know how to do nothing. He can look it up on YouTube.
Well,
But more often than not,
no. See, no.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to do that, you have to have some guidance. You see, kids got to be taught. They got to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
They're kids. They have to be taught. Even very smart kids still have to be taught.
Yep.
There has to be some guidance. What is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that?
Where? Oh, bro, speak.
Oh, what's
Hi,
going on,
everybody.
bro? Speak. What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing much.
Right. And like I was saying, kids still have to be taught. I don't care how smart they are. They have to be guided.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be taught. You can't just think that a child is going to automatically pick something up and do it. Now, some kids do tinker with things, but it doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. Okay? So kids today or guys today not knowing how to do things because it's on the internet, oh no, that's very, very possible. Very, very possible. Because they don't have a sense of understanding of how to do anything. They've never been taught. They don't have any guidance. And when you got a bunch of kids sitting around in the street just smoking weed or drinking, listening to rap music, they aren't going to learn how to do anything. I mean, have you heard the conversation? Look, I volunteer at a youth center, right, for a lot of these kids. Man, have you ever heard the conversation of the average 13, 14-year-old black kid? They sound utterly ridiculous.
I have.
They don't even sound like they speak in English.
And let me be clear, it only gets worse when they get older.
Yes.
I'm like, God damn it.
They sound terrible. Can't put a sentence on my, yeah, man, know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, like that shit right there, man. That's some wild shit, my nigga. Yeah, my nigga, that shit is fucked up. Yeah, man. That shit she did, my nigga. Ain't talking about what nobody. Yo, that shit she did, my nigga. That was some foul shit. Yeah, that was some bullshit, my nigga. Yeah, my nigga. They sound stupid. They sound illiterate.
It's gotten to the point they developed their own language, and it's like you got to use hieroglyphics to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
I still have problems, and I've been working in the prison around these guys for 13 years. Some things I still got to find out, because also they come up with new stuff every day. And you be like, this is this English? I know.
No, it's not. There's some shit. And it's like I was saying before, right? If the father isn't in the home, a child's going to find a father in the street. You don't want a father in the street. You don't want that. If they're not being taught properly, they're going to get taught somewhere in the street. That's what you don't want.
Yeah.
It has to start in the home. That's where there's always start. Like I said, we came out of the house civilized because we was taught how to be civil in the home. We didn't come out of the house acting like jackals and shit. We came out of the house like we had some good damn sense because our parents taught us that. Now these kids are coming out of the house like wild animals,
Yep.
savage, illiterate, don't have any real mental functions to speak of, just totally fucked up. And that's on us as black men. This has happened on our watch.
Mm-hmm.
As like I said, it's time to go to war. I'll be right back, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm working as always. Dane, take over for me real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Every now and then you run into that group with the, yeah. Some one of the teachers said you got to kind of make them and encourage them and pull out their communication skills. Otherwise, they'll be talking to you in slang and stuff like that. And if they talking that way, they writing that way. So so I the kids around my church, they used to having to communicate, and they can't use the curse words and the slang. They'd be like, "What did you just say, boy? Repeat that." No, they have to communicate. So I'm used to dealing with them, but I have run into the ones where it's like what you're about to describe, and I'd be like, are you speaking English? Or I no, I don't get what you're saying. No, I don't get it, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I've overheard some kids, and
Hmm.
I'm just walking to my house and hearing these kids talk, and I'm like, wow, these they ain't got they ain't got no guidance nowhere.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I heard about the those girls that fighting and that girl that got stabbed, and then the other thing in Harlem. I was kind of waiting on y'all to talk about that one because I talked about it on another panel, and you know, of course, there was some guy who, you know, one of the guys was, doing the demonstrating. I mean, was trying to push laws to protect the women and the children and then the elderly. And you had one guy got up there like, "What about the men?" I was like, "Oh my god, why, why, just why, just." I'm like, uh. Not the time, not the place. Why? Just why? And it's just like, man, that's not a good look for for us as black men, man. That's not a good look. But I do kind of counter one thing. I do not think, this is just me. I don't think the manosphere is the problem of that caused that problem. But I do think that they are a symptom of the bigger problem. You got a lot of guys out here that they're the sons and the grandsons of these ain't shit dudes, and unfortunately, they're not getting no guidance, and they're getting with some of these they getting with people that don't hold them accountable on anything.
Hmm.
So at the end, this is what you get. You got the boys acting like monsters, and the girls are following suit because there's no guidance. There's nobody gives a damn. You see a mother struggling with these kids, and it seems like now people just don't give a damn. You see that she's struggling. You see that she's having all these problems, and that's when it used to be the family would come in.
Yeah.
Like I said, they would come take the kid, give her a break. It's one of the things. One of the things that these mothers need is a break. I don't
Hmm.
care if you're going to the club or whatever. Just give them a break. Nobody seems to want to do that no more. They want to. They too busy doing them.
Yeah,
So
let me.
now,
Yeah, let me. I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you. Let me jump in there. No, the manosphere. I disagree with you. The manosphere is the problem now because, and let me tell you why. They took a situation that was already being created by white supremacy, and they've made it worse. And now they've become the absolute advocates of hatred towards black women, which has saturated the black communities. These young boys hate women because of what they hear from these guys. All these guys do is talk negative things about women. They devalue the life of black women. This has trickled down to our young boys. They have no respect for their mothers. They have no value on black women's lives. And this is the rhetoric that comes out of the manosphere. This is the rhetoric that comes from these sissy bims. They spew this kind of hatred. And when you have this kind of hatred, it breeds corruption. And now you have an environment that has become completely corrupted with a race, well, I wouldn't say a race, a whole entire generation of young boys now who hate women. And all these guys do is talk about hating women and blaming women and never take responsibility. These young boys don't know how to take no responsibility. They learn that from the guys in the manosphere. When these guys go live, there are 8, 9, sometimes over 1,000 people in those chats. And a lot of those people are young black males from the age of 18 to 25. I've seen it myself. I've even seen when they come up on these panels and they get misguided. They get told that it's their mother's fault. They get told that it's their sister's fault. They get told that they're like that because of their mothers. Never telling them that the fathers are at fault. Never telling them that the fathers failed them. They don't tell them that. They blame everything on the mother. And so this breeds hatred and animosity. Or first animosity, then hatred. So yeah, they're the problem now. They wasn't at first because this ultimately was created by white supremacy. This was a plan to destroy the black family. But the manosphere, it's their problem now. And they have made it worse. And they continue to make it bad. And they don't do anything to try to correct it, stop it, or turn it around. All they do is add to it. So yeah, it's their problem now, and it's their blame to bear.
Now, I would agree with you. Do they help? No. I think in some situations, yeah, they make it worse. But the rhetoric that you're talking about that the manosphere had, I heard that before the manosphere was even in existence. Some of that rhetoric I heard from my own father. So that's what I'm saying. I don't blame the manosphere for a lot of this stuff. Are they helping? No. And some of these groups are making it worse. I will say, yeah. But I can't just blame them. There are a lot of guys out here right now never heard of the manosphere. Think the same thing as the manosphere people. I keep saying, where did they get that from? I mean, you stop the manosphere. Okay, now what? The problem is still here. You stop SYSBN. Okay, the problem's still here though. Because while, yeah, you stop these guys, there's a bunch of guys right outside your door. Some you probably hang out with. Some you're probably sleeping with. Some you're probably your brother, your brother, your father, your uncle, cousin that you hang with, and you hear them talk that rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
But you sit there and do nothing about it. You don't check them. You don't do nothing. You just say, "Well, that's him. He'll once he find that particular woman, he'll get out of it." Sometimes it might be the case, but many times it might not. Especially now in 2021, where you got all this, like you said, a lot of corruption out here. It's very hard to get out of that mindset. and is, so it's going after just the Mansfield alone is not going to help the situation.
Absolutely. All right, here's where you and I disagree. Absolutely, it will help. Let me tell you something else too, right? Okay, I'm 53 years old. I've never heard rhetoric like this from black men. I've only heard this from these guys in the manosphere, and I've been around. Okay, I've never. Now, the most I've ever heard, I may have heard a brother say, "Fuck this woman he with because they had a bad situation or some shit like that." But I've never heard the kind of shit that I'm hearing from the manosphere from any black nigga I've ever grew up around, or any black man I've ever seen. No matter where I've been, North, South, Midwest. I've been in just about every corner of this country. I've never heard that. I've never heard that. I've only heard that from these dudes on social media. I didn't even know this shit was even going on until I got on social media. And I've been around a lot of brothers. Until I got to social media, I was shocked at what I was hearing because I've never heard it before. Now, here's another thing, right? You say if we get rid of the manosphere, then what we're going to do? Okay, let's get rid of the manosphere first because right now they are a huge problem because they are exacerbating a problem that we've had that was created by white supremacy. Now, I acknowledge that this problem was created by white supremacy. The manosphere did not create this problem, but they have made it worse. And they continue to make it worse. In order to get this thing turned around, we have to get rid of them. Start with them. And then we'll deal with these other brothers. But first, they need to be dealt with. Because right now, all they're doing is agitating the situation, adding to it, making it worse. And they won't stop. They're relentless. So they must be dealt with.
Okay. And I will concede that they're not helping. I'm always going to concede that.
And we're going to get rid of them.
But
SYSBM. We get rid of these problem pills first, and then we'll deal with the other ones that you said. I've never heard of it. And you know what? I'm not doubting you because you've probably been in a different area. I haven't been everywhere, but I have been around. And I've never heard rhetoric like this. I've only heard this from the manosphere. Like I said, when I got on the social media, I didn't even know this stuff was going on. I've never heard this from brothers. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't heard an occasional brother say he didn't like his baby mama or his baby mama did him wrong or something like that. I've heard that, but it wasn't to the degree of what you hear right now. What you hear right now is absolute seething hatred, and they encourage young boys to hate their mothers. I've never been around a black man who encourages young black men to hate their mothers. I've only encountered that here on social media.
Well, that's the thing. I said social media. I've definitely heard it before even knowing the manosphere.
I've never heard it. I never heard a black man sit down nowhere and say, hey, it's your mother's fault. You need to hate her. You need to blame her. Never heard that.
Trust me, Max. This social media thing is bigger than the manosphere, and I have seen it and heard it. That's what I'm saying.
Like
that's what I'm saying. And, yeah, the manosphere. Like I said, that's a symptom. This is not.
And let me
not the problem.
Okay.
Let me
ask you a question real quick about the manosphere. What purpose do they serve for black people? What do they do to help black people? Why do we need the manosphere?
What was the idea of it from what I got from it?
Right. What do they do? What purpose do they serve? And how do they help black people?
Well, this is just from what they've told me from the people that be there, like the main people, not these other people. They were supposed to help black men, get their shit together, get their issues out, because they felt like their issues weren't being addressed.
Okay.
That's what it was supposed to be. Unfortunately, you got a lot. Unfortunately, and I said one of the tragedies of the manosphere is that you got a bunch of guys who claim, I don't know if they're true or not, claim that they don't have these problems with women in society. They succeeded in dealing with the women. And then you had the guys who was having all these problems. They were doing everything right. So they say. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know these people.
Right. But
All I
before
can
you
go
go
by
to
for what,
right.
yeah.
Right.
But,
Let me interrupt you before you go too far now. Let's
okay.
address one of the first things you said. You
Yeah.
said that they're supposed to be helping brothers get their act together. Okay, last I checked, in order to get your act together as a man, you have to be responsible. The manosphere does not teach responsibility. They teach blame. They teach excuses. They teach pointing the finger at someone else. So I don't know how you helping someone get their act together because that takes responsibility. That's something that's not in their teaching. All I've heard was blame, not responsible, not responsibility.
Right. I can concede that. There's some of them. All they do blame women.
Okay,
Women this, women that, women that. But when it's time for accountability on their part, they shut that shit down.
okay, and
I know.
so I ask you
I've
again,
been
right. And you and I are sharing a brain on that. So I ask you one more time.
right.
What do they do? What is their purpose? What purpose do they serve? And how do they help black people?
As of right now, a lot of them don't serve black people. They're not.
Exactly. They
All right.
serve no purpose. They don't help black people. But I'm gonna tell you what they are doing. They are hurting black people. They are poisoning the mind of our young black boys. Let me tell you something, man. Without our young black boys, we're done. That is our backbone.
Right.
Without strong young men to carry our race into the future, we're finished.
I hear you.
Because the woman can't do it all by herself. She needs strong young men to take the lead. They are teaching these boys to be weak. Weak and to live on a bevy of excuses and to blame the woman when they are supposed to be the ones leading. The woman isn't the leader. She'll tell you that herself. She's waiting for us to take the lead. They're teaching the boys to be followers, followers of white men, and to not care about their own seeds, and to hate the very women whose wombs that they come out of. This is what the manosphere is doing for black people. This is why they must be dealt with.
Like I said, I'm not down you. I agree with you. I think we disagree in how much
Of course.
of a threat they are. Because
Right.
because I live out in the real world too, and the stuff I be hearing that didn't come from no ministry. They may say it differently, but that didn't come from no manosphere.
And let me
A lot
ask
of
you a
stuff.
question.
Yeah.
You say you're hearing these things. What age group of men are you hearing these things from? Because I hear some of this stuff too, but I hear it from the 20-year-olds. I don't hear it from anybody older than me except these old, bitter dudes in the manosphere who ought to be ashamed of themselves.
I mean, yeah, they young guys. I will agree with that.
That's what I thought to see.
But you also hear you got some old dudes out there, like you said. There's old dudes saying it too.
Yeah, some
And
old bitter, dudes who ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, they
I'm
should.
embarrassed that some of them come from my era that I grew up in. They should know better than that.
Yeah, you would think, but man,
Right.
but man, I mean, this this world has gone so topsy turvy, man.
Well,
The people that should be it's got to the point that there was an article on talking about there was a 13-year-old black boy was
mhm.
teaching grown people how to invest, how to save their money. Do you know how messed up that had to be? That you got to have a 13-year-old boy got to teach a grown ass man and woman how to save money.
I'm not shocked at that. We have a lot of child prodigies. See, black people, we have a lot of brilliant children. This is why I'm so animate against the manosphere, because they are destroying some of these brilliant minds. Some of our kids are brilliant. They come into this world brilliant, and they're being tainted by hatred. I'm not surprised at all. I've seen what? I've seen a 14-year-old girl in Illinois graduate from a major university at the age of 14. I'm not shocked at the talent of our children, at the brilliance of our children, both boys and girls. This is why I'm so animate against these punks who are spewing this hatred. They are destroying the minds of our brilliant children.
Yeah, like I said, we agree on that part.
Right.
I do
I'm
think
not
that
shocked. Mhm.
it, it's just I hear the pounds, and you know it's just like there was one panel they were talking about. There was this woman. I mean, this guy. I think the stepfather actually wrote and talked to this guy, and he was relaying the message that the stepfather gave him, that the mother, his fiance, wife to be, had kicked out her baby daddy because he was living there. He wasn't doing shit for the child. Now, this guy was gone for a whole year. Didn't see the child, nothing. But all of a sudden, she announced that she getting married, and they're building a life together. She has another child on the way with the stepdad. All of a sudden, here comes baby daddy pop up out of nowhere. Now he now all of a sudden he want to see the child, but he want to see the child late at night. Well, we know what that's about. So stepdad like, hey, no, you ain't coming over here no late at night. That's not gonna happen. You can't come when you want to. We'll work with
And
you.
and this is the child's father.
Yeah, the child's father. Not
And
gone for a year,
and
ain't doing nothing, and then want to come when he want to.
and you wondering why these kids are turning into animals
Yeah,
with that kind of father. This is what I'm talking about. See,
yeah.
failed fatherhood. That's an epic failure as a father.
And here's the kicker. Here was the kicker. We having this panel. The one running the panel told all that information. You still had dudes in the chat blaming the baby mama. Now,
Yeah, of course.
mind you, the woman never took this guy to. She didn't ask a dime for child support. Nothing. All she wanted him to be a father. He couldn't do that. She kicked him out of her house, not their house, not his house, her house, and he gone for a year. So, and they were like, "Where's the mother's fault? She ain't do." I'm like, "She keeping him from the kid." And I'm looking
You
at,
know,
I put I put in the chat. I said, "Well, why don't he go if he feel that adamant? Why didn't he go file for custody?" Because at the end of the day, look, if you feel that you could do a better job as a parent, file for custody. Go fight that fight. He didn't do that for a whole year. And it looked, well, she kicked him out. I said he can still go see his kid. And if she is making it difficult, go to court. He can go do that. But this
how
guy didn't do that. But at the end of the day, this dude wasn't trying. That's the thing I can't stand. Dudes just not trying. If you ain't
let me
trying to be
tell
a
you.
father, that's fucked up.
Right, let me tell you how much of an epic failure that is. This is an embarrassment on black men. See, I would never have nobody on my panel like that because that's like seriously embarrassing. Like, how the hell are you in the house with the child and get kicked out for doing nothing?
Well, he,
What the hell is it? You in the house with your child and get kicked out, not because of anything else. You get kicked out for doing nothing for the child while you're in the home.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is a super epic failure at fatherhood. That is an embarrassment. That is called a disgrace.
yeah.
You're
That's
in the home with your child, has every opportunity to take care of your child, but you get thrown out by the mother for being in a home and doing nothing for the child when the child is in your face every day.
yeah.
This is why I don't have no sympathy for niggas on child support. I don't care nothing about no black men on child support. Why are we shedding tears for niggas on child support? If you're on child support, it's your own fault. We have a lot of brothers out here who aren't on child support. We should be talking about them because they got it right. They're doing it right. I don't want to waste my time worried about some derelict nigga who got put on child support. That's your problem. Be a better father and you won't be on child support. Don't come to me crying and asking for sympathy and understanding because your baby mama put your ass on child support because you a deadbeat. You're in the house with the child in your face every day and won't do nothing for the child. And now your ass is on child support. You want to garner some fake ass sympathy. Fuck you. I'd rather talk about the brothers who aren't on child support, the good fathers that are out here doing what they're supposed to do. They should be the example, not these bums who are being put on child support. If you're on child support, that is of your own doing. Because a woman is not going to put no good father on child support. Even the ones who are vindictive won't do that.
yeah. And like I said, it goes back to and the thing about on that the thing about that panel, the guy who was doing the panel, I mean, he didn't have none of the participants. The stepdad wrote him, and he was just relaying the information. The kicker is, like I said, the guys was just blaming the woman for everything, and you had one guy. Now his story was a little different. He was going through custody dispute with his mother. Now he wasn't, so but it was just the fact that you hear the information, you see what's going on, and you're trying to blame the mother. And I have a problem with it. I have a problem with dudes who just want to blame the women for everything. I don't
This is
believe
what
in that.
But this is your mans in them in the manosphere. The ones you want to save and the ones I want to get rid of. That's all they do. And then they have these cackling. Male hen house live streams where you got 8 or 9 dudes converging on one woman.
Oh no, don't get me confused. I ain't trying to save. I ain't trying to save them. I'm be like, hey, I'm like, hey, if you want to get rid of it.
Do you know what that looked like? 8 or 9 dudes all jumping on one woman. You know how cowardly that looks to other men? And you wonder why other races of men don't respect us? You have any idea how cowardly that looked? And then they all emotional. These guys got emotions like pregnant women. I don't want to be represented by black men like that.
Yeah, hey, we're in agreement on that. I don't.
Yeah.
I am not trying to say. I don't want people to misconstrue me trying to say, let's save the manosphere. I'm not trying to save it. I feel like it's been corrupted, and it's Funk on. They
No,
fight
they have
within.
taken a bad situation and they have made it worse. And now they are solely to blame because they have taken it upon themselves, right, to finish what white supremacy started. Again, this was a problem created by white supremacy. I'm going on record to say that the manosphere did not create this problem, but they are the problem now. They have completely adopted this from white supremacy, and they have taken it upon themselves to continue to finish the job that white supremacy started. And so now they are solely to blame.
Well, like I said, we like you said earlier, we do need to be more supportive of the good fathers, the ones that's actually trying to be
Right,
fathers. We definitely
right,
need to do that because I don't want those guys to get mixed in with these goofballs.
right,
And unfortunately, they do get mixed in,
right.
and that reputation is out there in the media, and our image gets looked at. You know, so I like you said, I agree with you on. Yeah, if you want to give it, you want to go attack the manosphere. I have no problem. I am like, look, if we're gonna deal with the problem, deal with it. But
And then here's another thing too, right? They are occupying the minds of hundreds of young boys. That's problematic. That's problematic. You have nothing to offer black people. You do nothing but hurt black people. And now you're occupying the minds of hundreds of our young boys. No,
right,
no, 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 no. Man, we got to get rid of that. That's like a cancer that's spreading. I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right back. Dang,
Yes. Okay.
check over for me real quick. I'll be right back in 15 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
yeah, like I said, I don't want people to be thinking that I'm trying to save the manosphere. I don't want people to think that. I just look at it from, if we're going to tackle this issue, I want us to be strategic with it and just not just spreading yourself too thin. That's the only thing I'm trying to say on that.
Okay.
But I get what Max is saying, and like I said, and the sad thing about the manosphere, it could have been something that could have helped black men.
Yeah.
I really think it could have been if the right people were there. A lot of stuff that could have been, a lot of things that should have been in place to keep all these riffraffs, these dating coaches, these guys who claim to be womanizing and all that, bringing them, having them come in there and just it, it just changed it. And now it's just like it's now there's one, two, three, four, seven. Now it's like and it's not like it's becoming a problem.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Well, what it is it's taking these different discontented men, because not all of them have the same type of discontentment. Some of them have a problem that black women don't see them, don't choose them, and stuff like that.
hmm
And some of them be honest saying that they have they need to work on being able to talk to women. Then they got the ones that okay they had a problem with their ex and it's the child support thing, and they have issue with the child support system. But instead of trying to get together, get these men together to attack the laws, and change the laws, they're attacking the women. They attacking their child's mother, and then there's some it's all kind of wild. But I know what you're talking about when you said You heard some of this. You heard some of this before Manosphere existed, or even before some of these social media existed. Yeah, but it's always been like one or two.
Yeah,
And usually what happens is they ranting, they just fuming, and they'll get it out of their system. Some of the men say, hey, you can't let the woman get to you like this. They get advice, they cool off, and they go on. There's a few that are derelict. No matter what, it's the woman's fault. It's not their fault. They
mhm.
just derelict, that they just don't want to accept accountability. But there's always been a counter. There's always been a counterbalance. Either the men, you know, shooks. I've seen one where it was these two brothers. One was derelict. The other brother would, um, one brother would go and make these children outside of his marriage and stuff like that. And he wouldn't pay child support. He wouldn't pay it unless he was forced to by law, stuff like that. He barely spent time with these other kids, but his brother be, look, you chose the woman. You decided to go outside your marriage. You decided to sleep with this one. You decide not to use protection. Damn, man, what's wrong with you using a condom? And these are your kids. How come I'm the father figure in their life instead of their father? Because they know their uncle. you
Mm.
know he's the one that taught them, how to do manly things. He the one, in fact, got to the point where the mothers don't even call the fathers anymore when they have a when they there's stuff wrong with the son. Even when it comes to money thing, they call the uncle.
And
If
that,
there's a problem with the child, they call the uncle. The boy is acting up, call the uncle. If the boy wants to learn something, go to the uncle. you know, or I don't understand what's going on with my son. I don't know if it's because I'm female. Come and talk to him. See if it's a male thing, or is he just being a problem? All that uncle, 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 uncle. The mothers had gave up calling the father. They gave up talking to father. In fact, if something comes up, an emergency, and money is required, they don't even bother. They'll ask. They can work something out with uncle. They can borrow some money now, and they gradually pay it back. And when he do say, "Oh, no, 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 you're not paying it back," I'm gonna get my money out of my brother high. He should be the one doing this. But I understand he's my brother. I don't like it.
mm,
There was always a balance. There was a counterbalance. It was either, if it wasn't the uncle, it was the friend, it was the grandfather. It was, there was always a counter. You know, so there was a balance to these men.
yeah,
There's another man that balanced it out, or they was just the odd guy. The derelict, the no good dude, the neglectful dude. It was just him. But when you come to YouTube, there's a concentrate. It's like all these guys. Yes, they might be the flower, or they might be the tree from the roots, but each one of them guys had produced a child who took on their unaccountability, their derelictness, and then and pass it on to the next year. And now you got these concentration of these dudes on YouTube. Except they're not just talking about their woman or that woman or the woman they involved with. Now they putting it all women,
yeah,
all black women, even went so far as the mother. Those guys from those previous generation never blamed their mother, or
mm,
there might have been one or two, but they didn't. It wasn't their mothers they had a problem. It was it was those women they were involved with. So now it's not only coming across the board; it's coming across the board from the past to their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunts, and stuff like that, to the present, to the women, their wives, their daughters. How many? You would have never heard no man say a little 2 year old being a little 2 year old girl saying that she's being manipulative. She's trying to manipulate men. Nah, she's being 2 year old girl. She's being a 2 year old.
yeah.
But
That's
so they even attacking her. I've seen men who literally verbally attack their woman. But when it came to their daughters, oh no, that baby girl could do no wrong. It's her mother, it's her grandma, it's all the other women, but it ain't their baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
This is how bad these guys have gotten.
Yeah.
They blaming their mother, where they come from, and they blaming their future, their daughters. Uh, how
Eh,
many men have you heard in these areas where they showing hatred or extreme dislike of their daughters?
yeah, and that's man. I haven't heard that
Uh,
one, but I did hear one where there was a guy saying that if you had a daughter, you compromised,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, so just because
I'm
this
still
dude has a daughter,
Oh, okay.
listen. I'm
you
still.
saying,
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can
yeah,
hear
we
you,
can hear
Max.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut in, but I'm still trying to figure something out. Right? What
Yeah.
exactly are they blaming black women for? I can't figure. Every time I ask one of these guys, "But what are you blaming black women for?" I get all of this roundabout stuff.
Lord,
What is it that we ought to blame black women for?
Max, if that would take psychiatrists, um, therapists, and a whole bunch of stuff to try to pinpoint what exactly they blaming these women for, and
Yeah, because I can't.
it's
Because
all over the place.
Mhm.
right,
I
because
mean, it's like it's gotten to the point where they blame women if they fall down on the ground and tripped over a pebble. Oh, it's a black woman's fault. I can't.
yeah,
I
I don't
can't.
even know.
I'm like, man, just
Look, when you have two and three children to fend for by yourself, which in the case many black women have, they got to deal with these children. These children are big, man. I've
mm,
seen mothers with teenagers, but you know how boys can be. Boys get strong quickly. They tower over the mother, and now these girls are towering over the mother. These girls are coming out now, 13 years old, 5'8", 5'9".
yeah.
So they're towering over the mother as well. So she's got to deal with these giant children all by herself. She's got to be the breadwinner. She's got to be the sole provider. She's got to be everything. She can't do all of that by herself. Parenting, like I said, is a team sport. It's not an individual sport. The black woman has been playing the game of parenting as an individual for far too long, and it has taken its toll. She cannot do everything all of the time. She is starting to break down, and things are getting away from her because these children, because there's no discipline in a home that's supposed to be provided by the father, there's no authority in the house. These children are becoming unhinged. They're getting crazier and crazier and bolder in the home because there is no male figure there to represent authority. And now it is getting out of control. They are running her over, and in some cases, they're even attacking her and killing her. And this is all because of absentee fathers. This wouldn't happen if there was a strong man in the home, because the right things would be instilled in the children. But because there is no authority figure in the home, the mother, as much as she wants to be the head of whatever, she is not an authority figure. Children do not look at their mothers as authority figures. The father is well respected as an authority figure in the home. Without that being present, the kids will run amok. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to run the mother over. And
Yeah.
they're doing that.
Even in the best scenario that the mother is doing what she's supposed to do, they still getting overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Because again, at the end of like you said, they're the breadwinner. They got to go get that money. Then they got to be, be a mother to the and be a mother. In some cases, pretend to be the father.
Right.
And
like you say, you know what the key term you use there? Pretend.
Right.
Because she can't be.
No. And you
Right.
know, I've heard some women online talk about their mother and father, and I'm like, no, lady, you cannot be a father.
No, we don't
I know
pay.
that's you know, I know you're saying that out of just because he wasn't there, and you doing
Right.
stuff, and you're trying to justify doing it.
Yeah.
No, you're not a father. You will never be a father. Just admit that you are swamped. Yeah, you're trying to do a daddy role that's not your job. You're just swamped. Just
No.
go with that. Don't celebrate that.
Mm.
I don't want any woman to celebrate their Father's Day. Don't celebrate that stuff. That's not your job. That's not you. Don't do that, because what it did, it gave some of these dudes ammo against you. And unfortunately they're now they're using it. And
Well, actually,
well,
I see it differently.
yeah,
I think it makes the black man look bad
well, that
because
too.
if you have the black woman celebrating Father's Day, then what does that say about you? You're supposed to be the father. You're supposed to be the leader. You got a woman celebrate the day that's supposed to be for you. What does that say about you?
Yeah.
She wouldn't be doing that. She wouldn't be doing that if you were on it. Other registered women don't do that because their men are on it. So if you were on it, she would have no need to do that. Now, why is she doing that? She's doing that out of a state of depression. She's doing that out of a state of desperation.
Hmm. Yeah. That.
She's doing that because she loves her children and she's trying the best way she can to give her children a father, even though she knows she can't be one. This is what women do. They're mothers. They love their children. They try to give their children what they need, even if it's a makeshift father. See, I don't blame the women for celebrating Father's Day. I blame the men for the women celebrating Father's Day because they shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't have a reason to do it at all. You don't see this in any other race where the women are celebrating Father's Day. You only see that with black people because the men are fucked up. Again, you got a problem with what the black woman is doing. Handle your business and she won't be doing it.
Yep. I can't disagree with that. And
Talking about ammo against the no, Negro. That's ammo against you. Because you're so pathetic and such a poor excuse for a father that she has to make one up. She has to play make-believe as a grown-ass woman because she's trying to give her children what they are sorely lacking. Let me tell you something. A father is a big freaking deal. Look at what has happened to our community because of no fathers. Tell me who has the greatest impact. Look at what's going on in our community right now, what's happening to our children. You tell me who has the greatest impact. Without a father, you have basically sold our race down the river. And you have left everything in the hands of the woman, even though she may have some capable hands, but those hands aren't big enough to hold everything or strong enough. You have the bigger and the stronger hands. You have the heavier weight. When you speak, your words carry might and authority. She does not have the capability to do that. You do. You can walk out in the middle of a whole bunch of children and say one thing and bring silence to everyone. You have that power. And you've given it up because you've sold your people out. And you've taken a cowardly a cowardly path. Ammo. No, it's ammo against you. You are the one who looks bad here. If the black woman is celebrating Father's Day, it's because you're pathetic. You don't see this going on in any other race.
Yeah, and that's what I say, and it's tragic, and this is what you got out here. You got a lot of it's boys trying to find their manhood, but they doing it the wrong way, and they just not giving. And they don't care anymore. And now the girls are following suit. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Now the girls are
it's
going
just
crazy.
yeah. I'm like, wow.
And this is the result. And I keep trying to point to these niggas. It ain't gonna stop. This is the result of you fucking up. You carry that much weight and power. With you out of the picture, everybody gets corrupted. There is no more protection. There was no more teachings. There was no more guidance. There was no more authority. Everyone now is subject to corruption because of your failure as a leader and a father. You have removed the hedge of protection from our race by being a failure. And willingly copping out to selling out. And you want to try to blame someone else. Like I said before, black women, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Because this crop of men you got out here today are some of the sorriest Negroes I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, and and some of these, I'm, 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 you know, I hear all these guys complaining, and I'm like, okay, you're looking at it now, but you really need to look at the end because some of these guys, like my father, I had a coworker, kind of, he was a they both weren't good fathers. What ended up happening was, one, my father, they found him dead like two. He was dead for 2 days before my cousin found him. My coworker, same thing.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and it's just that's one of those things. My coworker, it was the same thing. They didn't find him 2 days later. He didn't come to work, and he always went to work. He didn't call in or nothing. They went to go check on him. He did, and what happened to him was even more tragic. His actual children, uh, they just they gave his body to the state. They didn't have no uh, uh, funeral service or nothing. They just gave him to the state because they didn't give a fuck.
No.
You know,
At least,
And I'm not right, and I'm not shocked at that. It's like I said before, right? We are the first and the last and only line of defense for our women and children. Without us, the world has already shown us what they think about our women and children.
Yeah.
They murder them, they blow their heads off, they do all kinds of crazy things to them. If we're not there for them, right, then we doom them to a life of torment, torture, death, and servitude. And that's our cross to bear.
And what's even worse, they influence him to try to be like men, which is even that's even worse in itself. It's just
Well,
not
yeah, because
just
you got a bunch of sissies who want to be taken care of and pampered like women.
yeah
You know
that
what I heard? You know what I heard some weak ass nigga say one time, right? Why should he get up and go check to see what been went bump in the night? Why can't she go?
oh
That was said on a live stream
Mm-hmm.
here
oh
on YouTube.
Yep.
and
And you see now,
nobody checked that dude.
no, there was actually
Oh,
still actually more people followed them.
oh god
Mm-hmm.
damn it.
Yep. Yep.
God
I got banned because I said
And
because
this and
you
this,
don't
and you know
have.
what? How many young boys heard that? See, we have to understand. See, the reason why they're so problematic. See, our young boys are impressionable, right? If they don't have daddies in the home, they're going to find a daddy somewhere else. And so, if this is it, they run across these guys and they listen to these guys, then they're going to believe it because boys need fathers. If there's none in their home, they're going to find one somewhere else. Because this is not something that a boy should have. This is an absolute need. A father is an absolute need for a boy. There is no getting around that. That's why if the
right.
father passed, you fill in the blanks with uncles, grandfather, whoever, whatever males you got left.
Mm-hmm.
A boy needs a male influence. If he doesn't have it, he's going to find it somewhere else. I've heard young boys come on these streams and was told craziness by men who should be taking that opportunity to set their heads straight. Instead, they filled it with a bunch of personal broken feelings. Oh, I hate my baby mom. I don't want you to hate yours too. Don't you? I don't like my mother. I call my mother a bitch. You should call your mother a bitch. Let me tell you something. I'm 53 years old right now. My mother's no longer alive, but if she was, I would never call her a bitch. I don't care. She could be wrong. There's two left shoes. I would never call my mother a bitch. But I've heard several dudes in that so-called manosphere call their mother bitches. Talking about if she acts like a bitch, I'ma call her a bitch.
Yeah, I've I've heard similar stuff. I remember that there was a guy talking about this African woman was dating this black guy, and she went to the guy's house to meet his mother because she was gonna marry him. And and the guy was calling his mother a bitch, like just not like they mad at each other, just like in play, just calling him a bitch. And I'm like, I could, as much as before my mother passed, as much as we got into arguments, just heated discussions, I never thought in my life to call her a bitch. I just, matter of fact, even I'm getting in the arguments with women, even on YouTube. I still never thought to call them a bitch out my mouth. That's was ingrained in me. I just can't do that. I just couldn't do it. But you know these guys now. I mean, it's just like this. There's no respect for their mother, and it wasn't, and a lot of it wasn't taught because the father don't respect. If the father don't respect the mother, then shoot, they're not gonna respect. And
Hey,
what's
exactly
even
what I'm
worse,
talking about.
and what's worse, you even had dudes who had mothers who wasn't the best, putting it lightly. They still respect their mother. I mean, it's but to hear guys now say that stuff, it still blows my mind.
You
And
know,
it's
let me say something right about that. Right. Let me tell you something, man. When we come into this world, there's nothing we can do to defend ourselves. We can't feed ourselves. We can't defend ourselves. We are sheltered by our mothers who take care of us, who feed us, who do all of these things that we can't do for ourselves. And then they raise us to a certain age to where we can think, walk, and talk on our own and do things for ourselves. And that's no mean feat. That's something that's very difficult to do. You're talking about selflessness on another level. So when we talk about our mothers ain't the best, I don't know about that because if we are at the age we are right now, I don't know if we can ever say our mothers were the best because probably if they weren't, we wouldn't be alive. I mean, all mothers have made mistakes. All fathers have made mistakes.
Right.
But to sit up here and say that she wasn't the best after she kept us alive, fed us, sheltered us, protected us, when we couldn't do that for ourselves. See, that's not the attribute of a mean person. See, things, all sorts of things get in the way and they infect people's minds over a period of time.
Right.
You know, women don't deal with stress the way men do. Stress hit women much harder than it does men. Men are built to deal with stress. We're
Yep.
built to deal with problems. Women are different. They don't handle stress the same way.
No.
So they can freak out. You know, they're loving and they're caring and they're nurturing people. Again, a father is supposed to be there to balance things out. It's not supposed to be one-sided. So when you have a mother that is overwhelmed, some things are going to be said that she probably shouldn't say because she's overwhelmed. Her mind ain't working properly. And another thing, women are emotional. It gets to the point where they become overwhelmed and their emotions are completely out of control. Sometimes they can't even control their emotions because they're so overwhelmed. And they may say things that they regret. It's not that they want to say them. It's the situation that they're in. Like I said, these guys think that women should deal with things the way we do. They don't.
No.
They process things differently. They have a whole different set of emotions than we do. When they're faced with constant adversity, they can only deal with it for so long. We can deal with adversity for almost an endless time because we have the ability to correct adversity. You see, when shit get on our nerves to a point, we just go whoop somebody's ass or go tear some shit up and all this shit stop. Women are different.
Yeah.
That's not something that they do or think to do. They internalize a lot of their pain. And eventually it drives them crazy. Especially when you have a man in the house who doesn't care, who isn't doing anything, a man that she has to kick out because he's worthless. You think that women want to kick the father out of the house? They don't. It probably breaks a woman's heart that she has to get the father out of the house because he's a detriment to everyone in the house.
Matter of fact, it's usually the opposite. They keep these ancient dudes there for the longest time.
Exactly. That makes it even worse because if they keep the ancient dudes there for a long time because out of desperation, then you getting kicked the fuck out of the house has got to be fucking really epic on another planet.
Yeah.
Think about that. They keeping ancient dudes in the house and the nigga's still getting kicked out.
Yeah.
That's beyond that's beyond that's beyond disgraceful. All right, I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta get some fuel.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but but yeah, I'm like, damn, like, some women do keep these guys a little longer than they should, and that even damages the kids.
Even
So
even the guy that said why he had to go down and check the disturbance, he had a woman, and
Yeah,
I
that's
heard she
fucked
kicked
up.
him out, but I heard she took him back. She stayed with him for the longest time.
Hell, hell, my brothers were both of my brothers were pieces of shit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. They still had women taking,
Mm.
you know. Now,
So
a lot of it was they were on drugs, so that didn't help at all. But yeah, it's just like, man, they still have women. So it's just, and it's tragic because
mhm,
these women are desperate. They want to keep the father there, no matter what he's doing. He could be hurting these kids, but they just need a male there.
mhm,
And these kids are getting damaged that way. I mean, they're getting raped, abuse, and that part of it can contribute to a lot of this anarchy with these boys and these girls.
mhm.
Just I mean, it's just so much going on. Yeah, it's just, man, I don't.
Yeah. Some either they some misunderstood belief that better uh, a piece of father than no father, or
Yeah, the Betty Wright song.
mhm,
That line in there.
shooks.
So
Yeah, it's possible. Yvette. Hmm. Yeah, one day I'm gonna fix the problem with our sex doll topic, and you'll be able to see it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, get a little sidetracked, but yeah. So yeah, so they corrupting a bunch of dudes. Although it's weird, like okay, since I came on, it kind of opened my eyes. There are some, as you said, guys like these Manosphere. They don't even hear of Manosphere. They don't even know nothing about Manosphere. Care less about Manosphere. And they sound like Manosphere. But the only difference I could take is that they saying is their woman. Is that particular woman and it took them a while, but some of them are finally starting to own up to their fault in the situation.
but yeah, it just I
But
mean,
by this time,
it's too late though.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
by then now you've 2, 3, 4, 5 years in, and you spewed all that stuff,
Shoot,
and now
3, 4, 5 years in. No, 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 no. I'm talking about ones that are 10, 20 years in.
oh, in the manosphere.
No, not oh no, not the manosphere. I'm talking about the ones
Oh,
that's
just
outside the manosphere, but they sounding like the manosphere.
right. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, and they 10, yeah, like you said, 10, 20 years in. Now they change. They finally get it, if they get it.
Mm-hmm.
But by that time, you affected a bunch of boys out here. You put all this stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now these boys are coming now, and they ain't coming after the women. They coming after you.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're like, why did these kids act like this? Well, do you remember the time where you were shitting on the your baby mama
Mm-hmm.
or some women in general? And these boys heard all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You you do realize this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that ain't my fault. No, bro. When you put that stuff out on the internet, it stays forever. I mean, you can try to delete it all you want, but it could get downloaded.
Shit. Yeah.
And now they got you saying that stuff
Yeah.
forever.
And then imagine the ones that got daughters. Hey, y'all gonna be if y'all not already old men, y'all gonna be really old men, and no one's gonna you ain't gonna have no woman. No one's gonna be around you. Who's gonna see about you? The sons that you've been ignoring, the daughters that you've been dogging out. No, no, you like you said, they got look. They not looking down the road. What are you creating? Or if they do see about you, must be got some money, or or they gonna take the opportunity to get back at you. Or shoot,
Hmm.
most of the time they just don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Yep.
That's what eventually happens. They don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Nope. And if you lucky, you end up in a nursing home. If you're lucky.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you on the street begging. I mean, I've seen the saddest thing. I've seen this old black guy look like he would, if a strong wind come through, he'll blow over just on the street begging. That's what I'm saying, man. You gotta be careful what you say out here, and that's what when I do my podcast, I'm very careful what I say. I really am
Hmm.
because I don't want somebody to take what I say and then be like using it in like a negative thing, negative, you know, because you know I can be critical, but I try to be as fair as much as I can, and and especially now when we have so many kids out here wanting to, so many young people want to attack the other gender just on they want to attack a female because she wouldn't take she wouldn't take his offer for whatever you want to beat up and try to bite someone's eye off because she rejected you.
Hmm.
And then you got the girls out here, they want to they going to the game fight like it's the fucking Warriors movie. Y'all remember that movie?
Hmm.
They reacting the Warriors movie. They bringing knives like to a fist fight. I'm like, man, what is man?
Although in that case, it sounded like they were stealing knives. They were in house in kitchenware.
They stealing knives. Go fuck. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh at it like it's funny. I mean, but damn, man. And and people just they don't get it. You know, eh, listen, if you really want to deal with the problems, if you're saying that the women are the problem, all right, okay, great, okay, what you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? I mean, are you still dealing with the women you say that they're a problem? Or are you going to find the women that are not the problem, support them, marry them, and raise your children right? Are you doing that? If you're not doing that, yeah, you at the end of the day, you're part of the problem. And then 10, 20 years later, you you old, you weak, your health is not as good as it used to be. Here comes that young kid that listened to you when like 20 years ago. Now
Hmm.
he's trying to now he's trying to mess you up or mess up a female friend or family member that you know,
Hmm.
and you're wondering why. Well, what do you mean why? This is why. At some point, look,
Yeah, they
I
already think you. They already think you old dudes don't do nothing, so they
mhm,
put in action what you be saying in words.
right.
Hmm.
I already think you're worthless. Shit, you hear it every day. You're now helping the situation. I mean, look, if you're saying that your image is fucked up, do something about it. Change it. Try to do something. Prove it. If you're saying if these women are saying that the black men are fucked up, Prove them wrong. And not by going to argue with them, having live streams about how these women are messed up. No, actually do something. Do something. Mentor. I'm not even saying you have to be a stepdad, but if that's what you choose to do, that's fine. But the men that want to do it, and this is the thing that bothers me. The men that actually want to be stepfathers, you got dudes who call them simps, weak, all that. Never mind the fact that some of these kids wouldn't be where they are. These good kids
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be where they are without a stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about Shaq. Now Shaq made some mistakes. Every man does, but all in all, Shaq is a decent person. And who did that? His stepfather. So that whole narrative about you weak and you shouldn't be a stepfather, man, you can miss me with that. I didn't have my stepfather for only maybe a few months before he passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and I still remember him to this day because he did a lot more for me as far as being a motivator than my father ever did in pretty much all the time he lived. And that's tragic. That's very tragic. Uh, like you were saying about those two brothers, the uncle being the one. That's the most tragic shit I ever heard. There
Mm-hmm.
should be no reason. Your uncle should be a support.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't be the main person you go to for fatherly advice and wisdom. That, I mean, man, it's just so backwards out here. It just
This
it
dude was so derelict. He was showing his 3-year-old son porno. That's why,
uh,
mom just washed her hands of the dad.
she should.
Hmm.
That
You
that
know,
that I have no problem with that. Hey,
the
look,
only reason, the only reason why her son knows his father people is because his uncle. His uncle would take all his nieces and nephew to give the parents a break, or in some of the mothers' case, the single moms a break, and take them for the summer. He had a farm. He raised animals, and he taught them how to work, do repairs, to make things with their do things with their hands, put them work and stuff like that. And somebody asked him, "Why you do this?" He said, "Well, they my niece and nephew, and two, my brother may not be good for many things, but he make good farm hands, because and when they got older, he paid them. He paid them. They earned the money working with their uncle. And he helped them get jobs and stuff like that. You know, he had connections to a lot of the industry work and stuff like that. Encouraged them, told them what they need to do, how they need to approach interview and stuff like that. I was like, dang. And he's been called uncle for so long. Not too many people know his real name. I mean, there there are women older than him who are calling him uncle, like that. They're like he's their uncle. It's just that
now
he. Mhm.
that's why I say that's a
Mhm.
man for you.
And because his brother was married, not to disrespect the wife, the kids were able to know their grandmother without her having to say that she disrespected the wife, because her son cheated on his wife and had these kids, but she still wanted to know her grandkids. That
Right.
was the workaround. Because you can't do you can't I can't control my son. If he chooses to have his nieces and nephews over, and your children happen to know their other siblings, I have nothing to do with that. You know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's the way it kind of should be handled. My mother was kind of the same way. They'll let them come over. Hell, the baby mamas,
Mm-hmm.
they could bring the kids over,
Mm-hmm.
no problem.
Yeah,
And
and and yeah,
and
and
she like, look,
since his mama's house was like next door to his property, it'd be like, okay, we're going to my mom and work on things on her house, and it's like, and the real young ones were like, this is my grandma. Yes, your grandma. Go introduce yourself. Tell her who you are and who's your mom and stuff like that. And it's like, I can do that. Someone was surprised they could do that. It's like every time he has to do this, he gets so mad at his brother. Well, brothers, but the other one is not that bad. But one
yeah,
of them, oof.
yeah. That one of the awkward things I had to do was meet my nieces that I've never met before.
Mhm,
That my brother brought over. I mean, I met the
mhm.
baby mama, but I never met the nieces and they were like over the age of 18. So that was a very awkward conversation to to deal with. And so it's yeah. I'm sad that your uncle got. I mean, not the guy
Yeah,
had to be put in that position, but he handled it well. I wish more men would have
yeah,
done that. I mean, they
yeah.
used. I mean, some of them used to do that, but now
Mhm. Now,
it's,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
as I said, there's a boys. Okay, it's a town over, but it's the only one that is big enough to have a boys and club program, and it's not doing anything. It's not even not. This is before quarantine, not after, because they couldn't get enough volunteers to help mentor the kids. They kept doing anything. At the most, they did something once a week.
mm,
And
yeah,
this is an organization that usually have something to do every day. Kids used to be able to come after school, do their homework, gets a snack, get help with their homework. So if they falling in some gap somewhere, there's help them get over that gap, and stay there until their parents can come and get them. Shoes. At one point, the program was picking up the kids from home, so they didn't be in the house by themselves, or the parents made arrangements with the school to have them dropped off at the boys and girls club. Hold on a second. Let me get this.
okay. So, but yeah, man, that's like I said, that's the tragedy right now. It's that people don't really care. They really don't care about these kids. But then now all of a sudden they're killing each other. They're attacking the women and the innocent people. And starting to care.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
look, I mean, if you, I'm like, even to those managers, okay, you say the women are terrible. Okay, fine, great, good,
Uh-huh.
okay, good for you. All right, so what you at least at least help the boys. At least help the boys out. You don't even want to help the boys. You
Yeah.
want to you want to spew all this hatred, but you don't want to give them no skills. You don't want to mentor them so they can get some skills. So at least they won't be a a bum.
Mm-hmm.
Because part of the problem is a lot of these dudes are bums. They don't have nothing. At least if you want to help these boys, at least be a mentor, give them some skills, train them or something. Do something so they ain't coming around running around like animals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, some you can't help. Some but at least try. At
Yeah.
least try.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm seeing it seemed to be the older men are mentoring. Well, let me correct that. Some of the older men, Cause I had to get something done. And this black gentleman who has a shop, and I'm sitting around, and I'm noticing there's a surge of these young boys. Okay, some of them are nephews, and some of them are, just friends of his children, grandchildren, and stuff like that. And they coming in there, they are learning the work, and they working for him. They learning how to work auto body. They learning mechanical skills. And um they earning their money the legitimate way. They're not, selling drugs. They're not involved in the drug trade, because some of them has been slipping into that. And yeah, and I'm like, okay, what are all these, these really young guys? I've seen like older men, but these are really, he got a surge of really young guys in there lately. And he's like, okay, he said, okay, fix this, and then I'm gonna show you how to do this other thing. And I'm like, okay, and I'm listening. So I'm just sitting and listening, and that's when I found out one of them's the nephew, the other one is one of his grandsons, and the other two are friends of his grandsons.
Mm.
And he's giving them an opportunity. He's mentoring them, you know, and they're around other men, so they know how men are to be men and stuff like that. And they polite. And one of them, I know he ain't normally polite, but all of a sudden he's yes ma'am with me and no ma'am with me. And if he ain't saying ma'am, he's answering anything. I might have a question, or I was looking for a place to sit, and he was showing me where I could sit. Where I could see everything but still be out of the way.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
I was
that's the
like, well,
thing.
that's a turnaround. I said, somebody having an influence on him.
Yeah, and again, it just need you just you don't have to. How
Yeah.
do I put this? You don't have to do much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just be there. Just be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just show them.
Mm-hmm.
Show them a different way.
You don't even have to let them know that you're showing them. Okay, when I said during the quarantine, a lot of the men were at home, so I started seeing them around the house doing stuff that most of the time they usually don't have time to do, or they have to do a quick fix, and they don't have time to patiently show these young boys how to do things. They just like in there tap tap, and the boy observe, but he don't get the slow down, the step by step instruction.
Yeah,
Well, now that they have time and they rested, and they don't have to rush to the other job, and don't have to worry about the bills being paid, they taking care of business. All of a sudden, I'm seeing 12, 14-year olds on the roof. I'm seeing them around the house helping to put in doors, put in windows. I seen them working on a car. Actually, it started off with the with the father working on the car, and he's talking to him and stuff like that. He's telling them what he's doing, and they having a conversation. And then he pulls on and said, "Now you see that there? This is whatever it was. I don't remember exactly. I wasn't there that long, and it didn't sink in. But like, this is I'm looking for. Okay, this is what the problem is. This is what it is. If it ain't this, when such and such happen, it got to be. Is either this or is this or this. Okay, so." We started off here because it's the easiest to get to, and it turned out it's this, but that don't mean it's just that. It's like, okay, you know
yeah,
and that's how he's. And then he's like, go get go get the socket wrench, and stuff like that, and I want you to see how to take it off. And I started seeing that going on. Then I started seeing men in the stores, and they shopping for parts for either the car or the lawnmower or something, some kind of equipment they need and stuff like that. And they're talking to their children and stuff like that. In fact, I saw a lot more men in the stores lately. You know, to give moms a break. You know, say, well, she been stuck with the kids all day. You know, I'm taking the kids to give her a break. We need to get some stuff anyhow. So I got her list and my list. Hmm.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's a good thing to see a father with the kids,
Hmm.
man, because it's I see some mothers with the kids and the kids are just all over the place. But you see a father with the kids,
Hmm. Yeah.
for the most part, they're acting where they should be.
Mhm.
Even if the father is young,
Yeah.
they still gonna mind the father more than the
Yeah.
mother. Mother gotta yell and scream and
Oh yeah,
cuss.
because
I'm like
I've
that
I've
that
seen it. Now his son personally is not, in fact, he was. This is showing how a man is important for disciplining the girls. We was having a sleepover. His wife is the main one coordinating, and so his son, him and his son, was taking the opportunity to have, father son time, and they helped out, they helped out initially, and then they went go do their thing. They were going to the movies. It was like the last sleepover before all this started happening. Um, and Okay, the girls was getting rowdy, and as much as we holler and listen, all the women they weren't listening to us. They came back because um she had called them. She needed them to bring something that she left at the house, so they came back. And he come through the back door, come in there, and he hears how, and he come in there, one voice, a male voice. His voice is not deep and thunderous, but at that moment it cracked with the authority of a man. And he said, "Be quiet and sit down. What is going on in here? What, have y'all lost your mind and stuff like that?" Um, I know y'all were taught better than that. And then he zeroed in on his nieces because they were kind of a little bit rowdy. They were like upfront with their rowdiness. And he's like, we're not having it. Y'all know better. What did they tell you to do? Go do it. And them girls went to step in like that. We hollering at the top of our lungs about four women. They totally ignored, or they halfway listen. He comes in and came in with that authority. As I said, it's not just the thunder voice. You don't have to have that thunder rumble in your voice. You have to have that crack of authority. And they step to it. So it's, yes, the boys need the men, but the girls do too. You know, the father is there to help with the discipline of the girls. Sometimes I guess because we was outnumbered, the girls were walking over us. They were ignoring it. And we was at the point where we're going to have to start pulling out a belt and whipping these girls because, they weren't ours. But here he comes. And with that authority, I never heard that tone in his voice because I knew him since he was a little boy. He's always that sweet, quiet, shy type. In fact, his son got his mannerism with the quiet shyness. I heard the man in that moment. I say, okay, I gotta that remove that little memory of the little quiet, little soft-spoken boy that I knew. He came in crack with the authority. Hmm. Yeah, and then I can understand his father. Now his father got that thunderous rumble and stuff like that. And yeah, he don't even have his voice is that that thunderous gravelly type voice. That's normal. Don't let him come in with that crack of authority. Ooh, it's a whole nother level. And that reminds me. Yes, the father got to be there, whether he's living in the household or not. If he's there and he's being a father, you know, yeah, it's possible to parent, and I've seen it, and co-parent and not be in the same household. Okay, you and the woman, you're not fit, you're not gonna work out, but you got children. you still have a say. You still discipline. You still are part of a team. You're just a team that's not in the same house. You know. Yeah, I've seen fathers do it over the phone. You know, and said, "Wait a minute, do I hear you cutting up in the background and stuff like that? What did your mom tell you to do? Get to stepping. If I have to come out there and come down there, and I will come down there, it's gonna be me and you." And and fathers can do. And this is fathers not living in home. But they being their kid's father. You know, so so and and they are and they let their children know how it's going to be and stuff like that. If there was a father not just in the home but in their lives and stuff like that, you know I think a lot of this wouldn't have happened. I ain't saying the girls might not fart, but it'd have been less likely, as I'm thinking, because I know men who were questioning does. You going where? You going to Walmart? Why you need to go to Walmart? We got everything at the house. Stuff like that. Oh, you gonna hang out with your friends? You don't need to go to Walmart to hang out with your friends. No, 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 no. You're going in there to get in trouble by just hanging around, and how them white people. I don't want to hear about you going to jail and stuff like that, or them thinking y'all stealing, or y'all cutting up. No, you're not going.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have to be, even if you're a stepfather,
Mm-hmm.
you have to command that respect because I hear these guys complain about, oh, we was trying to be stepdads and it didn't work out. The kids didn't respect me. I'm like, well, what I see with a lot of the guys, they come in there just happy to be there, just getting that consistent sex. But they happy to have a home or happy to have a chick. They don't teach the kids nothing. They don't get no respect from the woman, and they don't get so if they ain't getting the respect from the mother, they're not gonna get the respect from the kids. It's just so they coming in there just there, and so now yeah, these kids didn't treat me with respect. No, well, you didn't command no respect from nobody. You was
Mm-hmm.
just there, and and
Yeah.
and kids are not stupid. They
Mm-hmm.
can see that whether you want to be involved. They may fight you over your involvement, but eventually, if they see that you actually care, they're gonna fall in line. A lot of like with my stepfather. My stepfather we thought he was mean, real mean, but he generally cared. And at the end of the day, I don't see a lot of these guys who could complain about being a stepdad. These guys weren't trying to be stepdads. These guys was just there. They were just a male babysitter at best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay. Hey, Abana. Abana. Hey. Hey. Okay. All right. I don't know how much you had heard, but okay. We was talking about the okay, there's been several issues with young children. The latest one was uh um involved 5 girls, 12, 2 13-year-olds, a 14-year-old, and a 15-year-old. The 2 through 14-year-old attacked and stabbed and killed the 15-year-old in the Walmart, and there's been discussions going on about that, and how some of the
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
going saying where's their mother, what the
Yes, that
mother's
is what
doing.
I try to
But Max
ask.
is saying no, where the fathers, the mother's there and stuff like that, but she can't do everything. She can't be everywhere, and sometimes because she's doing everything, she's wearing herself out.
Is it the mother is the parent mother that they have a husband or not?
Hmm? Oh, I'm sorry.
Is the
Could you say that?
child no is the child's father there or is only the mother?
Well, there's no mention of the father. There's only mention. Everybody just keep asking where were the kids' mothers.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't know if there's a father in the picture. We're assuming because everybody keep talking about the mothers that there is no father, or he's
Okay.
not there, or he's not part of the. Uh huh.
Okay.
They're not saying the
See,
parents. They're saying where's the mother.
okay.
Hmm.
You see, sometimes these are the reasons why when we are talking about single parents, it makes children kill or children be having problems with some of the other children. Some of these cases like this. You see, if the mother have a man who is supporting her, it might be good to give this child more advice, more knowledge. Like this thing will not happen. How will a 14 years or 15 years kill a 40 years? It cannot be possible. But because they don't have this kind of fathers who support them, their mind, even the women are doing better. And sometimes they need the voice of a man. They need the strength of a man who can strengthen the children, who can give them knowledge. Mothers can do their best to help them do house chores, do everything. But sometimes they have to get a man. That is the fathers. You see, when you are in the house with your mom and your father, when you do something, your mom shout on you and you did not listen. When just your dad raise his voice, hey, come on, stop what you are doing. You run out from there because you fear your dad. You see, because he's a man and you fear the man more than the woman. So you may thinking that hey, my mother cannot stop me doing what I have to do. My dad can stop me. So if these children have a father, I don't think they might kill themselves or do something harm to themselves. You see, the men have to come over and help the women to do whatever they are doing, whether house or work or every places. The men have to come over and help the women. Now it looks like the men have put in everything on women. Women cannot do anything again. They are tired of doing it now. Men, where are you? Where is your support? Where is your strength? Bring it and help the women to build a good family, to build a black community's world. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's what I believe was going on. Um. Children. I believe that the part of the reason this thing happened is because there's no father or in these children's life. You know, no fear of consequence, authority. No care for the person that they killed,
Yeah,
and we also tapped into the incident where these young men or boys attacked this woman because she turned them down or she wouldn't let him buy her a drink.
yeah,
So so the fathers needed for both situations, but everybody's so busy trying to put it all on the black mother or the woman that they're ignoring the fact, hey, where is the father? These children were not created by the woman alone. What
yeah,
is going on in there? What are they growing up in that they could be so nonchalant about killing somebody? You know,
yeah,
hmm yeah.
yeah.
Where
You
are
said some.
where are the fathers to for the discipline? Where's the father? You know, in the situation, everybody keep going. Where's the mother? Where's the mother? But nobody's saying where's the father. Nobody's thinking
Yeah,
about.
Well, they used to say that where the father is, and then they
Mhm.
just said, fuck it, who cares? Let's just focus on the mother because that's that's who usually show up is the mother. You know, when incidents like this happen, who the one you're gonna see? You're gonna see the mother. You're not gonna see the father. And I think part of it is that the media do kind of not seek out these fathers. I think that's part of it. But I
Mhm.
think it's also most of these guys just ain't around. They you can't find some of these fathers. So that it could be a combination of both. And
You know,
now it's just like they just focus on the mothers.
it's funny you should say that. Y'all should say that because you look at it this way: when you talk about other races, like say Hispanic or Latino, whatever you want to call them nowadays, Asian, any other race of people, right? When situations going on like this, the first thing come out of their mouth is, "Where's the fathers?" That's the first thing to come out of their mouth. And if they're not calling the fathers out first, they're calling out the parents. Period. But for some reason, when it gets to black people, it's only where is the mothers. Nobody even thinks about the father. You don't think that's problematic? When it comes down to black people, no one even gives an inkling to the fathers. It's straight, where's the mothers? But when you deal with other races of people and their kids act out, first thing come out of their mouth is where's the fathers or where's the parents?
Right.
Black people, not even where's the parents.
No, they they even giving up on that. It's like,
Yeah, they going straight to the mother
yeah,
because the father don't exist.
nope.
And this is a bad. I don't know how to express this. This is bad. This reflects terrible on us as black men. That other people, when they even look at us, even think about our race, they don't even think about the fathers at all. And that's because of us. That's our doing. Our terrible leadership and our failure at fatherhood is permeating throughout the entire world. Everybody sees it. So when they look at us, all they see is the black mother. They don't see the black father anywhere because he's never around. And you guys are walking around here like that's a badge of honor. It's a badge of shame. And it garners disrespect from every other race of men on this earth.
Yeah, and that's the tragic thing of it. and, and you know, it's one thing you would think if these fathers did care about their daughters when that happened. Damn, if the media go don't find you, I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna say something, regardless. I'll call the media and say such and such. But in a lot of the cases, they tend not to do that.
And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something right now. You think you're hurting the black woman by trying to make her look bad and all of that, and you feel that you're gonna go to other races of women and sow your wild oats. Well, I have news for you. We've talked to other races of women. They don't want any of you guys. We have our very own African sister right here on the panel who currently lives in Ghana. You should hear what she says about these types of black dudes. She don't want these guys in her country. These guys don't take care of their kids. You see, what you don't understand is you have a bad reputation in other countries. You seem to think that you have these guys seem to be delusional about their reputation. Your reputation is terrible in other countries. These women don't want you. The best you're going to get is a prostitute. These women from these other countries don't want to have anything to do with you. They see what's going on over here. They're not stupid. They're not blind. They don't want to have anything to do with these black dudes over here. Abby,
Yeah.
Abby, you're
Yeah, I'm here.
African. Abby, you're African. You live in Africa. Tell us, are these the kind of black men you want in your country?
Never. I don't need a second black man that he cannot take care of a woman, who cannot take care of a child. No, I will look and do it. Then you need to go and take a prostitute a shower in my country. You can
But wait, but
carry.
wait a minute. But wait a minute. These are high value men. They seem to think that they are wanted in different countries. Is that true?
No, it's not.
Well, to be fair, a lot of them ain't going to Africa for that. They going other places. They tend to avoid Africa like that. So I'm just, but yeah, but I hear the sentiment. Yeah, you don't want these weak.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Where are they going? Because we can get some Filipinos in here and not going to the Philippines. It's sure enough not going to Brazil. You might get killed in Brazil.
Oh, they going.
Brazil is absolutely dangerous. And they lying to you. They lying to everybody. You might get killed in Brazil. What are they going to do? The Dominican Republic? The last time they checked or tried that, it was getting smoked over there.
Yeah.
They was getting poisoned and all that. So where are they going? Damn sure ain't going to Japan. So where are they going? These Asian women don't want these niggas. So where are they going? These guys are going to get prostitutes. I know. I traveled around the world. I'm ex-military. These guys are going to get prostitutes. They're not getting these native women. These native women don't want these dudes. They're not stupid. They see what's no real woman wants a man that won't take care of his own. I don't know how to I don't know what logic that these guys are using. But what would a woman want with a man who won't take care of his own? Can somebody explain that to me? Okay, we got women on this panel. And you know what? Let's ask the women in the chat too. Let's start with Dame and Abby. Are y'all here? Y'all listening?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
What would you want with a man that doesn't even want to take care of his own children?
Nothing.
Nothing. Ladies in the chat, you can answer that too. What do you want with a man who don't want to take care of his own children? And you can ask this question to any woman in any country. Hell, you can even ask a prostitute. A prostitute don't even want to be with a man in a relationship that won't take care of his own children. Sure, they'll get money from them because they're prostitutes, but they don't want to be with them. He won't take care of his own. So if you won't take care of your own, you ain't gonna take care of her. Women, let me explain something to you. Guys seem to forget something. Women need to be taken care of. Women are natural consumers. Women are the nurturers. Women are the mothers. They nest in the environment. It is the man's job to protect and provide. That is what it is. Now, I understand some guys don't like that because they don't want to be real men. But that is what it is. And that's the way it is all over this world. It doesn't change because we got sissy bims and manners queers having issues with getting women and want to sit up there and spew hatred. That doesn't change the fact that a man is a natural protector and a provider of women and children. So what woman in her right mind is going to want a guy who don't take care of his own children? A lot of these women, now, before we say, well, they choose these guys that don't take care of women. No. What these guys do is they sell these women a bill of goods. And then once they get what they want, and once the baby comes up, they're gone. The woman has no idea that this is what they've been planning all along. See, I have 5 sisters. I've seen what dudes do. They sell these women lies, sell them a bill of goods, gain their trust, and then they betray them later. Leave them holding the bag, which is kids. So what woman wants a man, especially these guys who are on full display, spewing all this hatred? As a matter of fact, we can take the kids out of it. Abby, Dame, ladies in the chat, let me ask you this question. What do you want with a man that hates women?
For him to get it far away from me.
What do you want with a man that's constantly complaining about women? Y'all want to answer that?
Don't want. Because I'm going to get sick and tired of him, knock him upside the head.
Right, we can take the children out of it. No woman in her right mind wants a man who does nothing but complain and point fingers. Men are supposed to be doers, movers and shakers, trendsetters, path makers, problem solvers, protectors, providers, authoritators, not complainers, whiners, cowards, and do nothing but make excuses. No woman in her right mind is attracted to such a male. If she is, let me know where she at. Let's get on the show and find out why she's attracted to that kind of male. Because I guarantee you, the women here on this panel and the women in this chat aren't attracted to such a male. Damn, I got to get off again. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, y'all, I'm working.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Gail Moore said desperate women to take him. Oh, you gotta be extremely desperate. Maybe
no.
that's why Becky's always grabbing them. They desperate.
Well, let's be real, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave that shit alone about the Beckys. I got stories about Becky's, so I'm just gonna tell you. Becky's will take anything. I'm just gonna let that be known. Shit.
Yeah.
They take the worst of their men, they'll take the worst of y'all too. So I mean, let's just keep it 100. But yeah, the opposite word meaning in their right mind.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, some of our sisters are not in their right mind. Like they said, they're desperate, or they're just led by their lower region. And so they take this dude, he may look good, or you have some that think they can scam these dudes out of money but they scamming them and leaving them with a baby.
Mhm.
So it's, it's so many complexities into why a woman will take an ain't shit dude. You know, it's not clear cut. It's not just some of them getting tricked. Some of them, you know, the dudes are telling them they ain't shit, but they still take them
Mhm.
because like that whole thing, a piece of a man is better than none. So I think that you know it's there's a lot of stuff to it. You know, I used to think that you know, oh yeah, they just picking them just because, but then you really sit down and then I had to think about my brothers and what they were dealing with the women they were dealing with, and then you just say like, no, there's a lot more to it than just they just picking these dudes just because. It's a lot of stuff
Well,
going into it.
well, let's talk about women not being in their right state of mind. So you have to put that in context. So when we just throw that out there and we don't put nothing behind it, it's almost disingenuous. See, we have to
Right.
understand why they're not in their right state of mind. You understand what I'm saying? I've stated over and over again, women do not handle stress the way men do. So when you have women nest in the environment, they are mothers first, they are caretakers, they are nurturers. So when they are in an environment that is completely topsy-turvy and corrupted, they're going to adjust their behavior to what's in their environment. So if you leave them in a situation to where they have to choose the best from the worst, then that is going to create abnormal behavior because they're dealing with men who aren't good. And this causes stress. And this leads to the woman not being in her right state of mind. You see, when she's in the environment to where it's normal for the men to be bad, right? Then her mind develops that way.
Right.
See, when you don't set the precedent of good behavior in your environment as the leader, then you are subjecting the people in your environment that you're supposed to be leading to become corrupted with bad behavior. Now, women don't come like that. They don't come into this world crazy or evil or mean or whatever. They're made to be that way. See, women feel a lot more than men do. They take love a lot more serious than men do. They fall a lot harder in love than men do. So when you win their trust, it's a big freaking deal. And when you turn around and you shit on them, that's also a big freaking deal. And it causes problems with them. It causes mental problems, emotional problems, because they've given themselves to you in trust and you turned around and you treated them like shit and you betrayed them. That hurts them. And it hurts them in a lot of ways, especially mental. And it hurts them deep because they trusted you and they've given themselves to you. So when you say a woman not in her right state of mind, let's take a look at that a little closer. What environment is she in where she's not in her right state of mind? Because I can guarantee you, you show me a black woman that's not in her right state of mind, and I can probably almost 100% of the time show you the man that created that state of mind because they just simply don't come like that. They're made to be that way from the environment that they endure. And when you leave them no choice but to pick the best from the worst, from them to choose from the top of the very bottom, then expect bad behavior, expect desperation, because they are in an environment with corrupted men. And that is the norm in that environment. And that it's the norm in that environment because the leaders of that environment allow that to be the norm. So let's be careful when we say women not in their right state of mind. Because many of them are not in their right state of mind because men created that state of mind.
Well, I can't dispute that part. You know, and it's just in this cycle. So they're
No,
not
not an
going to.
endless cycle. No, 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 no. Not an endless cycle. This is something perpetuated by black men. Black women are on the receiving end.
I
See,
know.
in order for it to be a cycle, black women will have to have their own shit that they created on their own to add to the situation. But they're not doing that. They're just reacting from what's already there. So it's not a cycle. It's a perpetuation that is one-sided. Black women are merely reacting to what's going on. They're not creating what's going on. The black men are creating what's going on. They're creating and she's reacting. And in every sense of the word, she's being loyal, right? Because she's following the leader. So if the leader is corrupted, guess what? The people that he's leading are going to be corrupted as well. And there's no getting around that. There's no shunning or getting rid of the responsibility of the leader. Whenever you see rotten leaders, you see rotten people.
Right.
So if she's not in her right state of mind, it's because the niggas in her environment took her out of her right state of mind.
You're right. I'm not going to. Ain't nice that. I'm not going. I'm not going to dispute that. And like you said, it perpetuates because then these women who may not to be in their right state of mind, they get with another guy who may not be in his right state of mind either, and that thing continues. So, yeah, it's just man. But at the end of the day, yeah. I mean, you know, I used to kind of dispute with Max about that, but I tend to agree. Now I do agree with him. Like at the end of the day, it's all following the men. You want better women, you got to be better men.
Mhm.
It's just that's just the way it is. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I need to go get off. I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Okay.
Thank y'all for having me on, Max. It's always fun to talk to you. It's always
Mhm.
fun to talk to you, Dane. Always fun to talk to you too.
Yeah.
And Miss Abner. I mean, much you know. Well, I guess she come too. But anyway, any.
Okay.
But anyway, let me get off of here. Let me go eat because then I gotta go to work. So y'all have a good night. Chat. Love y'all. Peace.
All right. Good night, bro. Speak. All righty then. So, yeah. So, any woman putting up with guys like these with this attitude of hate black women, dogging out black women, every other race of women, but is better than black women thing, and you're putting up with it. You need to check yourself mentally. Time to go get a mental checkup. Find out what is going on with you that you are still hanging with this dude. What about you, Abana? What do you think about why some women would stay with these types of guys?
Oh, okay. The reason
Mm-hmm.
why I think
Oh,
some of us we stay with hello.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. The reason why sometimes we some of the women we stay with such a man like this, they hate women, they don't care about women. Is you see, most of them lying to the women. They don't tell them the truth from the beginning. They will try to lie to them. Oh, no, I'll take care of you. Don't worry. As soon as the woman gets pregnant, then they will vanish. They will run away from the woman. So that is a trick that they use to take some of the women and destroy their life and leave their children to them. So, like we the women, we have to be vigilant. We have to be very careful of ourselves, of a man that we are to date. Sometimes we have to be very careful. They don't come in a straight way that hey, I just want to give birth with you and I will not take care of the child, I will not take care of you. They will not come like that. They are not. They come to the stand that they will try to tell you the truth. What you, a woman, can believe. And I don't understand as a black man leaving their black women and destroying their black women. Why will you do that? Now, one, we have to be one. As a black community or black people, we have to be one with our wives, with our husband, with our children. We shouldn't do discrimination. Hey, I gave birth with you. I want to take care of the child. I want to take care of you. You see, that's why we have more single parents in black communities. That's why we have more single parents in blacks. We the blacks, we have to be very careful of ourselves so that we, the men, protect the women very well. We shouldn't do that. Hey, I'm going to have sex with you and leave you and go your way. No, if you know you are going there to have sex without taking the woman, why don't you want to protect yourself? Protect yourself so that we are not going to get the woman pregnant. Because if you don't do that, what are you trying to do? Destroy the child, destroy the mother as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I think you're right. I think yeah, that's also possible that that the black women are being lied to. You know, they're being told that these guys are lying about who they are and what they want, and then when they get the woman pregnant, they trying to drop out of sight, leave the woman hanging in the back, or or they don't show their true selves until the woman is all in love and invested in them, and they thinking the guy is gonna change or something like that, and he
yes,
don't. So, but but it still goes to once you discover what the guy's like, why are you still with him? So that means there's something going on. There's a reason why you're still with him. So that
yes,
means you need to check yourself out mentally. Why are you with a guy who uh um hates you, or he might be doing that number where he's saying it's not you, babe, it's those other women. No, 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 no. If everything is the black woman's fault. The black woman's fault. You're a black woman. He's saying you too. I don't care if he's telling you, oh, I'm not referring to you. I'm talking about those other black women over there. Are the ones like this? Are the ones that's ratchet? Are the ones that's ghetto? Are the ones that gold digger? Whatever label they try to give these so-called other black women. Trust me, he ain't saying the ghetto woman. He ain't saying the ratchet woman. He's saying black women. So either you need to check him or you need to check yourself. It's like, okay, look, I know you keep telling me this, but you still keep saying black women. You ain't saying a particular black woman. You saying black women. And now I'm hearing that you hate your mama. What the and all this stuff. Okay, now it's every black. No, no, no. I'm a black woman too. You're talking about me. I said, or like, ask them, what you doing with me? If you don't like black women, you blame black women for everything. It's all the black women fault. Why are you with me? hmm Got not only ask him that, but ask yourself that. Why is he with me? Is he with you because he love you? Is he with you because he needs a place to stay? Is he with you because he has a child with you? What? What? Yeah. But but so this guy got something going on brewing on him, and it's gonna come out eventually. Y'all gonna have a disagreement. He's gonna attack you, or y'all break up, and all of a sudden you hearing he's putting you. Oh, it's you wouldn't let me do this. You wouldn't let me do that. You left me. You divorced me. You kicked me out of the house. You, all of yous. You wouldn't let me leave. You wouldn't submit. You wouldn't accept my authority. You wouldn't let me be a man. You. None of it's him. Okay. Okay. Avana, is there anything else you want to say or talk about? Cause I'm about to wrap it up for the night. Ladies, is there anything else? Let's see. We was talking about the strong black woman. Yeah. See, Bell's like, there's a lot of untreated mental issues among us. I wouldn't be surprised if there was one black woman who. I wouldn't be surprised if there was one black woman who couldn't benefit from some type of counseling or therapy. But everyone expects us to be strong, and then when we get called masculine. Shaking my damn head. True. Yeah, I know. I get tired of the strong black woman stereotype. You know, some of us even perpetrated on ourselves. We're strong. It's more of a case that we just doing what we have to do. You know, and it gets to be a lot. And you think if I don't do it, it won't get done. So you doing it. You don't want to do it. You don't even feel like you doing it right sometimes. It just has to be done. Somebody got to take care of the kids. Somebody got to feed the kids. Somebody got to be the parent. And because you can't advocate your thing, or maybe we consider strong because we ain't try to step out of it um some women. I heard of a woman who of another ethnic group who's made a single baby mama, and after a few years she couldn't take it anymore, and she committed suicide. Okay, well, in this world we have to be strong, but that doesn't mean we don't need help or our men to help us. Okay, we can't be weak. We weren't put here to be weak. No, we weren't. And not to mention, we aren't that selfish. Be like, okay, if something happens to me, or if I don't if I don't take care of the kids, or if I took this suicide route, what's gonna happen to my kids? Who's gonna take care of them? You know, I don't trust the state. Do I have any family that could take them in who would be good parents? You know, got to think of all that. hmm And then when you're the only parent, you gotta also think about who's gonna take care of, because their father ain't, because he ain't doing it now. So what makes you think he's gonna do it after you gone? Yeah. So you be trying to think of who among your people. And what if you don't have any people? What if you an only child, or your parents are gone? It's just you and your child. You know. So you just push forward, keep on going, and so we just keep on going. We just do what we gotta do. You know, to take care of things. You know, we get tired, we get sick. How many mothers are working while they sick, or are taking care of everybody in the family while they're sick, because they can't lay down. They can't, if they don't take care of nobody would. Mm-hmm. Shooks, I knew one. It seemed like it was a psychological thing where she wouldn't get sick until somebody was there. You know, yeah, she wouldn't. She didn't seem to get sick. I think what it was, she was powered through it. You know, until there was somebody that could watch the kids or take care of it. Because my this woman, she was a friend of my mom's, and my mom's like, okay, you've been taking care of the kids all day and stuff like that, or you know. How about I take the kids, or I take care of the kids, and you go get some rest and get some sleep. hmm And my mom did that quite a few times for some of her friends. She had a case where they went through the flu, and they went through it twice. They tried to break the cycle. Or was it a cold? You know, we took the we took the baby, and the baby stayed with us. While everybody else was sick. And then, as each child would recover, they came stay with us until the parents were better. And by the time the flu went through them again, we had all the kids, and I was like, Mom, I don't think she's sick any longer. I think she don't want the kids back. Said no, no, no. She probably just needs some extra recovery time. Yeah, we good. We got it. Yeah, let her get a chance to get full strength. You know, and sometimes that's how it be. If the single mothers are lucky, they have friends who that all help each other out. Give each other breaks. Sometimes you know find a way to help each other out when the men aren't there, or the men ain't trying, or the men ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. hmm Okay, I said I was gonna close it out. All right, I'm gonna close it out. Okay. Yeah, y'all have a good night. I don't know, the next time we have a conversation with Lady Dame or Gangsta Talk, y'all definitely. Oh, don't forget, y'all. Thursday, we're doing a movie night. Uh, we're doing a movie night with the Hurricane in Discord, and we're going to do a review of it afterwards. So everybody, um, come and enjoy a movie night with us. And hey, you can give your critique of the movie down in the chat for those of y'all who still having trouble getting on the panel, or vocally getting on the panel, like we did for American Skin. We'll probably be back tomorrow. Okay, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, son. There's mad kids out there getting cream for the 9 bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. Shoot the game going for fun. Alright. And this is the year when mad cats get peeled. So I'ma spark this line, kick the reel. Bang them out. With all this chaos in the realms of the street, your local street guard got to make ends meet. The average Joe's far too slow for the ghetto pro. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like to glow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfucker thing. I'm pursuing the dope. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is popping, coke is cooking, beef is copping. Ain't that some shit? A player that's used to living rich is now a sticky kid. Caught up in a ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flipped to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats, the 4.5. Remy in the glass, spark the boom, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player pay. I don't wanna see that. They rather see it spray. But I'm like Diddy, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Investing in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I'm hit, I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for this. I get down for mine. I get down for hands on the brain. I get down for mine. I get down for this. I get down for mine. I hear you wanna be the player. I ain't someplace you left. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. With this a DOA as I spray the melee. Contact and punctuation is compared to AK. You in a daze. Overdose for pure funk. I'm fucking off like Tommy Gun. For karma's a boot smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick, pumping skunk, bouncing with my click, popping mega jump. I'm getting back while these clowns be zigzagging. What's this talk about flipping keys? Come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wings and making dollars believe it. You see, I was packing heaters when jokers was banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Far from comical lyrics and sticking the brains like particles. Never sleep. I'm bringing the drama to the street with techniques and rolling in bleach. Ain't nothing sweet about the street, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook up and lyrics sound like fish scale. I got the banger at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. K-Dep, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine.